Episode 40. Here we go. It's another Tuesday. Time for another comic conversation, guys. We got a lot of great things to talk about tonight. Kind of debrief on what we did for Free Comic Book Day. There's some news around Star Wars, Inhumans, Guardians, of course, Wonder Woman. There's a lot of stuff we're going to go over. So sit tight and we'll get through it all together. Also, we have SpideyFan, Contender, and QB Comic Addict are going to join us towards the end. And we're going to announce live the winner of their contest. So that'll be towards the end of the show. So stick around. There was about 22 people who entered that. So I think they said 3 winners. So I'm excited to see who wins that. And I hope it's not me because I entered. And I'm actually going to do the drawing with them. So I don't want people to think it was me.
I didn't even know they were having a contest, so it ain't going to be me. I can say that right now.
What's the contest for?
Well, honestly, it was kind of in support of Free Comic Book Day, just kind of getting out there and, being part of the community, supporting the shop, and sharing your experience with it. What you like about your shop, what you think they could do better, some cool finds, or your favorite book that you might have found from the day, whether it was one of the free ones or like something on a good deal. So that's really what it was, about. So
I was about to say, just making a video about Free Comic Book Day count, because I did, but
yeah.
I didn't.
You didn't tag them. You didn't tag them.
So
well, the deadline was 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, so you missed it by 3 minutes.
That's all right. There's always new contests coming up, so.
That's right. All right, guys. So let's do what we usually do. Top of the show, we do a little bit of catching up. I know you guys saw Guardians. I know we all did Free Comic Book Day, so we're going to save those 2 things for a little bit later. But Chris, I want to find out how the baby's doing.
Baby's doing good. Tomorrow we have her 1-month checkup, so. We get to go and take her in there, meet the doctor, her primary care pediatrician, and, at some point there's going to be some type of shot, so that's not going to be the most fun part of the day. But, get to get her weighed and just, make sure that everything's all right. So that's pretty cool. And then as far as, outside of, baby life and all the rest of it, I was able to pick up one of my top 10 books on my list. So I now have the Transformers #1 that I was looking to get, and I picked up a couple other ones, along with it. So, I made a video for it if you guys want to check it out on my channel. But yeah, it was great to get a top 10 book off the list. Kind of make a little bit of progress. I had a little bit of a, I guess, kind of a lull in that, and just trying to find some other deals and see what I can get going, but. Before the end of the year's out, I think I should have hopefully the whole thing done. I may have to come out of my comfort zone, spend a little bit more money than I want to on a couple of them, but, to get it done, we'll see what happens.
Right on.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah. It's always fun making that progress there. It really feels like you're kind of moving that ball down the field.
Yep.
Yeah, I got my list too. I got a bunch still on there. I made a mistake with it, and instead of putting like a single book, I put a home run.
Oh, yeah, I did that.
So now
I did that last year with Watchmen and Infinity Gauntlet, and I made some really good progress with Watchmen, but I didn't complete it. And then through some help, I was able to complete Infinity Gauntlet. So that was really cool. It's really fun to finish off a run, because then you're like, oh man, I got like this whole run accomplished. But then it's just like, if I had just done one book, right? It's just like I could have like I could have just put the one book and then just gotten a bunch of other things like, hey, and while I was on the way, like I got these other books, I think a run sometimes can be a little intimidating, even if it's like a short story. It's just like, it's a lot of books to kind of pick up to fulfill that request.
Yeah, exactly. Now with a run like that is going to take you some time, do you read them as they come in, or do you save it so you can read the whole thing all the way through?
With Infinity, I saved it just because starting off, I had gotten #1, and then, I just kind of got other ones as they went through. But I was having a really hard time getting number 6. And I was just like, well, what's the point in reading all but the last one? Just like, so I waited to get them all together, and I'm like, yep, I got them all. So here we go. Like, and I went with that. So, depends. It also depends on the story too. If it's something that you've never seen before and you really, really want to, I guess you can kind of peek in there, but it's just like, the only thing that you're doing in a way is like you're kind of teasing yourself, because if you don't finish the run, then, you kind of are stuck where you left off. So my advice would be just have the patience, get it all together, and then just be like, you know what? I know what I'm doing for the next couple hours. Just reading this whole run from top to bottom.
Exactly. Don't bother me until I'm done.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, so Justin, how's your week been? What have you been up to?
Good. Yeah, just kind of chilling. I was lazy this week and just got my haul up today. But yeah, Free Comic Book Day was fun. You know, I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but I ran around to a whole bunch of different places, so it was a fun day.
Cool. Actually, that's the next topic, so if you want to just jump right into it, go right ahead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, my shop, you got to get there early or the line is ridiculous. Like, so I was there about, I guess, 45 minutes early and was still 30 minutes after they opened before I stepped foot in the store.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then, the line was way past me anyway. So my shop does like big volume on that day, but it was a little bit more subdued this year than it has been recent years.
How do you mean?
Normally there's like a lot of cosplayers and there's
okay.
Just like more of like a festive atmosphere. And this year it was just, not really anything going on, just people in a line. Like you had a couple people dressed up, but they were in line, not, they were just kind of cosplayers themselves.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was a little bit more subdued. But it was a good day. Check that out. Got a few books from them, and then went over to Second and Charles. And Second and Charles was running a great deal of if you walk in, you get 10 free comic books. Okay. So
I can walk in. I can deal with
That's
it.
crazy.
Right, and then their back
was it like a big box they had, or
they had like 10 long boxes right at the front, and I mean it was their 50-cent books. It was nothing great, but I found some like pretty cool stuff. So
yeah,
my nephew was with me, so I got 20 books out of there. And then their back issues were like buy 5 get 5 free.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah. So I cleaned up at that place pretty good, and just some of the most random stuff you could get, But
hey, why not?
It was cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
And then it was a good day. Like it was a good atmosphere. Like it seemed like everybody was having fun. Like even people in line at Free Comic Book Day were having a good time, like just chatting up and everything.
Nice. We got a couple. I'm just stop you right there. Give a couple of shout outs in the chat here, and some people were saying what they were doing too. So we have actually Doom 143 said that his wife went to Free Comic Book Day for him. I guess maybe he was working or something, but he still was able to figure out a way to get some books. Comically Flawed said he only went to one shop, which is the main shop, but he has 2 shops in his area. So the other shop he skipped out on, he's boycotting. So I'm curious what that's about.
Exactly. When I read that earlier, I was like, oh, well, he's boycotting the shop. Now that's definitely something you don't hear every day. So I want to know what's up with that.
Yeah, let us know in the comments there, Adam, why you're boycotting it.
I think he can tell you.
Yeah. And then he said he went right after that. He went to see Guardian. So, and then we had Ramiro Gomez. He's here as well. He said that he went to 3 different comic shops.
Busy day.
He made his rounds. Yeah.
So he got like everything that came out for Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, he said it's because they have too high, their prices are too high and everything, even the variants, or especially the variants.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that. I have a shop that I thought was really just the go-to place for back issues until maybe. So I went there. Maybe I found it about 2 years ago, and the prices were reasonable. It wasn't too bad, and until about maybe like last summer before Boston Comic-Con, then everything just jumped up, and it hasn't come down yet. Like there's some books out there, like they were the ones that wanted to sell X-Force #2 because of the Deadpool movie. They're like, oh, like this is a $25 book now. I'm like, no, it ain't. I guarantee you it's not, but that's okay. So I don't boycott them though, just because they do have a lot of good back issues. It's just there's certain things where it's just like you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. So, the good thing about Boston is just that there's a lot of different shops all throughout, just the area and everything. So, if one doesn't really have, like everybody has their own little specialty, and there's a few that specialize just in back issues. There's some that do just new stuff, and then there's a couple other ones that just kind of have a variety of both. And it's just if you have the time, you can do some damage so long as you have a good agenda in mind. I mean, just in Cambridge alone, there's I think like 4 or 5 different shops. There's a couple like big retails. There's one that's like really good with back issues and new stuff, and then there's one that's like strictly pretty much just all new stuff. So you can kind of mix and match and pick and pop, and it's just like within about maybe like 3 or 4 blocks of each other. You just set out, start walking, and just be like, I'm gonna start out here and end up over there, and see what I can come up with.
Nice. Yeah, you really have to know the prices and what you're looking for when you go into an environment like that, so if you're getting a good deal or not, or whatever it is. But you got to go in there informed, or like for example, a perfect example here, Comically Flawed said with the lenticular covers like Batman 22, he had a shop that on the day it came out it was I almost said $22. It was I think he said $12.
Really?
Yeah, his other shop, the one that he still goes to, cover price, $3.99. So.
Yeah, I got mine for cover price. I mean, I didn't get the Flash one.
Yeah, I did too.
I just got the Batman one, and I mean, I can see that. I guess people will. I mean, knowing full well that it's just like that whole like '90s kid was like, oh, look at the cover, it goes like this. Oh. It's just like,
well,
it's
$12.
Well,
it's bad though because there is a regular cover.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There is a non-lenticular cover that they can sit beside it and go, well, this is the regular one and this one's special, so we're marking it up. Even though they're not supposed to. I can understand little shops or smaller shops. I don't say little, but smaller shops doing that.
Yeah, they had the non-lenticular and then what they're calling the international cover. And
they also have Tim Sale's been doing variants for the whole run. It's just like, I mean, none of those usually demand any more than cover price. I haven't paid any.
Right, I'm just saying because of it being flashy.
Yeah.
That's realistic because they got one that's not and they got one that is, so they can say this one's $2.99, this one's $10.
Yeah, no, I can get that. I mean,
it's crap that they do that because that's not what they paid for it.
Exactly. And you know what's crazy? It's actually the non-lenticular cover that's the variant. The lenticular is the cover A.
Yeah.
Yes. So what if that's the rare one, everybody? Yeah. What if that's the rare one?
Exactly. It's just like you gotta go back and just get the regular, non-shiny, beautiful cover, and just like, oh, that's the rarest one there out there. Hey, you live and learn, I guess. For me, Free Comic Book Day was pretty tame. I went to just one shop. They had a limit, so you can get two of the Free Comic Book Day books, and then you could also get 2 just regular old back issues. So I was like, ooh, and then like my wife decided to pop in there, and I was like, hey, there's some books that you want. Like, what? I was like, get these 2 and get this one, and then there's one I want to show in particular. This they put out every single year, and it cracks me up every single time. And I went off on my video about this, which it just makes me laugh. But every year they give this out for free, and when I hear that people are paying upwards of $5 for this book from time to time, I'm just like, why? There's no reason for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you. X-Men #1, awesome cover, really cool book. This is what started me on my whole X-Men kick. I'm not gonna lie and say that it's not. I was, I think, 9 when this came out, and I loved every second of it. But they literally give this out for free every year. I have about 4 copies, not of this cover, but just different covers throughout this, of this actual book.
Right.
I'm not paying any more than $1.
The whole picture, then, right? Yeah.
It's $1 anywhere. If anyone tells you $5, you'd be like, then I would be getting 5 of those because I'm not paying any more than $1.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's a great book. I don't care what anybody says. That is a great.
It's an amazing book. I mean, as I said, like I'm not gonna sit there and shit on the book and say, oh, it's a terrible comic. No, it's a great comic. It really is. But it's just like there's so many of them that literally.
If the print run wasn't over 1 million,
Right.
Yeah.
It's like 281. People are starting to charge upwards of more than they should on Uncanny 281.
Yeah, but hey, to each his own. I say do what you want, but I'm just telling you, like, if you're patient enough, you can get them for free. Like literally, my shop gives it out every single year. Like, look, we have so many. I'm like,
like just take it.
I mean, allow me to take another one from you because I don't care. I don't care if I have 65 of them. It's whatever. I mean, it's free. And that's what I said. Like, that's what I said to my wife every time. You can't beat free. And she's like, don't you already have this? Yep, but it's free. Sorry. Come home with me.
There you go. Did you guys put the stickers on the covers, or was it raw, or whatever you want to call it, blank?
Oh, the stamps.
Yeah, some of them do stamps. Some of them do like a little sticker.
Mine in the white box. Mine stamp it.
Okay.
Stamping.
So on the cover, like where there would be the barcode or like the direct mark, like the Spidey head, for example.
Yeah.
It's blank. There's a blank square, a white square.
Yep.
And some shops don't touch it. Other shops they'll put a stamp that says the store name on it or a sticker.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I got it. Here we go. I found one. So like the box here.
Oh, yeah.
They just stamp it. Otherwise, it'd be like you can look on eBay and find them that are just the white box, like no stamp.
Yeah, mine don't do that. I actually went to two shops. Not to like be greedy or anything. Just I wanted to support the two shops. I like both of them.
Sure.
And I was being greedy.
Sure.
No, I've never seen that. I guess up here they don't do that type of stuff, which is cool.
So,
but yeah, it is funny though. I think they do it on purpose on in a few of the shops that I go to, just because if you wait long enough, you'll see those in like $1 bin, like, hey, $1. It's like, no, that was free. I remember when that was free. No, I got one already. I'm not going to pay you $1 for this.
Yeah. So the first shop was cool. They had like Star-Lord and, a couple of cosplayers there. They had the organization that runs the conventions in the area. They were at the shop as well. And you could like spin a wheel and win prizes. Like they had like the thing where you could win tickets. I didn't win the tickets. I won a ball.
You want a ball?
I won a ball. Yeah.
Sweet.
I don't know where it is actually.
Oh.
It's a little thing. But anyways, it was fun. And then I went to the next shop, and it was sort of a bigger production because they use up the parking lot outside. They had like food trucks and a bunch of other cosplayers, and like when you walk in. It's such a big store. You guys have seen the one called Tate's. I think we were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was an off-air. I think it was. We were talking about Tate's in the big shop, right? And so they have that, and then next door they have the gaming satellite. So that's just like the folding table. So they can rearrange that a lot easier than the other side, which is just a bunch of like shelving units and stuff. So you have to go into that side first. Walk through like an artist alley where they have a bunch of local vendors and stuff, which is pretty cool. I actually found a blank sketch cover for Gwenpool by this local artist that I really liked, and I ended up getting that. But that you pick your like the books you want, so you get 4 free. And what they do is like one like secret book, like something they'll just stick in the bag for you. And then you have to take your card with the 4 numbers that you pick that correspond to the book, walk next door, and then that's where you pick up your books. So it's this big old like assembly line production type thing. But yeah.
Nice. Well, that seems more fun. You're getting something that's a surprise.
Yeah. I was actually listening to Undisputed Frost on his show. He was talking about a shop in his area or like near him. I think it was in like somewhere in Northern California, but I've heard of other shops do it too. And I like this idea where you get like say 4 or 5 books, but you bring in like canned goods or whatever, right? Depending on how many you have or how many pounds you bring in, like you qualify to pick up other books. So it incentivizes you to bring in those, and then they obviously they donate it to whatever fund or charity or whatever it is. But I think that's a really good idea and a way to kind of turn the day into another form of giving back. So I wish more shops did that.
I would totally go spend a whole bunch of money at the grocery store to get a whole bunch of books.
I mean, that's actually a really, really great idea, just because, I mean, on top of, just going ahead and giving back, it's just like, so you're getting books, you're giving back, it kind of, it goes hand in hand. And it's just, it's something where it's just, you look at it, it's just, Free Comic Book Day, they're trying to entice us to, get other comics and stuff like that. But it's kind of, I mean, on the I guess like rosiest and nicest way of looking at it, it's the comic books industry's way of, you know, kind of giving to the fans and be like, look, you know, here's some free books, check these out, like, see if you like them, you know, here's the stories we get coming up. And then, you know, so it's kind of, you know, it's their way of giving charity to us. So, you know, I think it kind of goes hand in hand. And I do agree. I think that more stores should get into that, where it's just like, you know what, you can really strike up something really nice if you do. Like, I mean, and maybe something more like that, like around the holidays, where it's like, you know, Thanksgiving and like Christmas, like that would be huge. Where it's just like, you know what, we're also taking donations for this, and you know, we'll you know, let you put it towards a gift certificate or something, you know, or we'll have a sale, and you know, for every can over, you know, let's say every, I don't know, increment over $100, you get, you know, 1% for everything, every like $10 over 100. Like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ideas revolving around that. I know I've heard a lot of Chuck Rosansky doing that. The guy who does Mile High Comics.
Yep.
Yeah, he's big about that type of stuff in that area, Denver. But he actually was hit pretty hard. I think it was yesterday by a giant hailstorm. So in their big store, they actually they had like a bunch of hail come in, and they have these skylights in the warehouse roof, and all the skylights broke, and all this water and hail and stuff got into there, and like destroyed a bunch of stuff. Yeah, check out look him up on Facebook. He did a live video walking around the store and kind of just showing all the damage. It was pretty crazy. So yeah. Anyways, so the next thing we're going to talk about was Dr. Aphra. I know that there was a contest recently on Star Wars, the big website, StarWars.com, where you could vote for the next action figure, and it would be through Hasbro for their like the Legends line, I think they call it. It's a 3.75 inch. There was a bunch of characters. I think Taserface was on there. I think
Taserface.
Ahsoka was on there. Dr. Aphra was on there. I don't remember the others, but Dr. Aphra won. So we're gonna get a figure for her. You know, she started off. You know, first appearance was Darth Vader #3. Right, that book. If you don't have it, go get it. I'm telling you guys. Then she moved on to having her solo title. Now she's got this. You know, she's got a book. We're going to talk about books coming out tomorrow. But Star Wars: The Screaming Citadel is taking her out of her book and pairing her up with Luke. They're going on an adventure together. So this is a character that, in my opinion, is really here to stay, and you could still get in on the ground floor with her in terms of you know, buying her books and her stories before they're, you know, too expensive. But what do you guys think? Do you like Dr. Aphra? I mean, did you collect any of the Star Wars figures?
She seems like a cool character. I haven't really read too much about her. I did collect her first issue, and I remember the art being really, really good. I jumped onto Beta, and then kind of you know, got to the point where it's like, there's too many, you know, titles out right now that I'm buying, so I just decided to drop it. And so I didn't really get to follow her or really you know, get to know like who she is and what she's all about. But you know, I haven't collected any Star Wars figures in a long time. You know, I mean, but to have a brand new character completely, that's pretty cool. Like that's actually worth going out and, you know, getting.
Yeah, I think that's really telling about that they have. And I know this was voting from the fans, but the fact that they put her there, you know, with the potential that she would win, really says that they have long-term plans with the character. And I think it's only a matter of time before we see her on a show or in a movie or, you know, some sort of you know, televised appearance. But yeah, she's here to stay for sure.
Yeah. I mean, where do you see? I could see her on the I think it's what, Rebels, that show, the animated one. I could see her on that before anything else, just because I was gonna say, you know, any sort of live movie, like where do you slot her in? I mean, you know, I guess it'd be another prequel movie, but like, I mean, she's got, you know, she's involved with Vader for a while, so it's just like, you know, there's a lot that you'd have to, you know, really go around this, you know, see where she actually comes through. And on top of that too, I mean, do we really know where her full allegiance lies? Like, I would have never thought that she would have teamed up with Luke, and now she's doing that. It's just like, okay, you know, I thought she was kind of, you know, on the dark side of things, and now she's kind of, I mean, maybe she's just kind of opportunist. I mean, is that more or less like what her character is like, or am I off on that?
Yeah, she's still kind of pissed that Darth Vader blew her out the airlock.
Okay.
That would upset you.
So
know?
she's
that's gonna ruin anybody's day.
So she's a pissed off ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
I now need to go look and make sure I have that first appearance. I'm pretty sure I did. I think I got that Darth Vader series up to like 5 or something before I stopped.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you guys, get that book. It's still, it's reasonable price. You can get it for like $10 or so.
Where's a pen?
Great Adi Granoff cover too. And there's I think it's a 1 in 25 by LaRocca.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember what the ratio is. Oh, I just said it. That one's a little bit more pricey.
That 1 in 25. Damn it! What's that ratio? Damn it.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely check that book out. So, in my opinion, she's here to stay long term.
There are like 4 printings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beware.
Yep. Just
if it's a color like a green
barcode
or something, or a red, then that's not the first
I
print.
think it gives it away in the
Yeah, red is
lettering.
probably the first one. But there's purple, orange, and green.
Yep.
According to SpideyFan.
Yeah. Get the first print.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, guys. So did you guys see the still image for the Inhumans TV show?
Of all of the Inhumans?
Yeah, there was all.
I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Yeah.
Like Black Bolt's not wearing a helmet, right?
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
That's
He's
weird.
usually some dude. He's just like, I was like, what?
Mm.
Black Bolt with no helmet, and he got a beard too.
I don't like it. It looks like not horrible cosplay, but just kind of like middle of the way. Like these guys got together and just like threw on some costumes.
It's like a group of people that met at a convention, and these were their favorite players, and they're randomly dressed up as these players.
Exactly.
That's
and Medusa's wig. I got. You see Medusa's wig? That thing is like, come on, they could have done better.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like Peggy Bundy hit. It's like, that's exactly the same vibe I got when I saw it. I was like, oh, like this is. I mean, like.
I don't know. I gotta see the Medusa though, because her hair needs to be constantly moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
gonna be CGI though.
I think so.
They're gonna have to.
Yeah, not for the whole thing. That would be expensive, but there's got to be, some motion in the hair. Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't like Black Bolt without the hood.
Yeah.
Or without the cowl. Black Bolt needs a cowl. He's always had a cowl.
Mm-hmm.
He's got to put that on. Lords of the Long Box said that Kellyanne Conway reappeared from out of her crypt.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's the chick? She's got like strips in her hair. Like
Crystal.
Her hair. Yeah.
Johnny Storm's girl.
I don't like that either.
Well,
that's
the thing that we're looking at.
It looked kind of accurate though. I was like, okay.
Was it a production photo? That's the thing. Like, is it just is it like a dress photo? Because do we know, like, is that full out production?
It's a promo photo. It was released by the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, but like, because what I'm thinking is that if it's not like a straight out production, like let's say it's a promo, but it's not like full out, like, fully done, then maybe they're leaving some stuff out. Maybe it's not quite, what you're gonna see on the show. But if that's what they're gonna give us, then I don't know. It's gonna be a really tough sell.
They're already several episodes into filming.
Oh, I'm sure.
I've heard people say that it looks like they stepped off of the other show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and they're just like extras from that show.
Is it going to be on? What network is that going to be on? We know? I don't remember. Yeah, what network is Inhumans going to be on, everybody?
The first 2 episodes are going to be broadcast.
They're going to be in theaters.
Yeah.
On what?
They're going to be
in theaters. Yeah, here he is. Edwin, what's up, brother?
Nothing. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah. Edwin knows. Edwin, what network is showing Inhumans TV show? You know that, right?
CW?
Okay.
No,
okay.
Are you serious?
That's usually a safe bet. They got everyone.
I would have to guess Netflix.
No,
it's not going to be Netflix.
I can't remember.
Is it not ABC?
Oh,
I don't know if they're gonna
probably. Isn't that where Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
ABC.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. ABC.
Okay, so it's ABC, so they're doubling down on their heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Or
But I think Disney owns ABC anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they do.
yeah. But are they winding down Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. then?
No, it's getting another
That's in
season.
season 5 now?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, they're still going strong, and they're actually bringing Ghost Rider back for the finale.
Yeah. I mean,
Just saw
that
that
show
recently.
that show overall isn't doing so badly. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's actually doing pretty all right. I mean, the thing is though, for the Inhumans though, you know, I have a feeling that we're all going to be sitting here. It's going to be, you know, maybe like episode like, you know, let's say like 52 or 3 when they actually finally bring it out, and we're just like, you know what, would have been better as a movie. I really do get the
Vin
feeling that
Diesel
it
is
should have been a
so
movie.
angry.
The budget for the first couple episodes, because it is in the theater, was pretty ridiculous. I'm
Nice.
doing an unboxing right now, by the way.
Sweet.
So I feel like, you know, if it's gonna be in a theater, okay. So you're basically doing like, so it's like a 1 hour, you know. Are they 1 hour episodes, or are they just like half-hour episodes?
I'm sure they're an hour.
Probably an
All right,
hour.
so basically, it's gonna be like a 2-part movie, and you know they could have just focused on making an actual movie instead of making, you know, a show. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just one of those things. Like, I mean, for everybody who knows the Inhumans well, I mean, do you think that it would have been something that was, you know, better told as a movie, or do you think that there's enough material to have an actual, you know, ongoing show, you know, weekly episodic that, you know, can span a couple seasons?
I think it's just a test run. I don't think a lot of people are familiar with Inhumans. I think it's just a test run just to see what the fan base is like, if there's any buzz or talk about it.
Well, even if you watch, you know, if anybody knows anything about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
Yeah,
that's
they
what
do.
they're hoping. They're hoping to gain that like big push
Yeah.
from people that have talked about that.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a movie at first.
Because
and
they
then
cannot be like waging their bet on Inhumans fans coming out of the woodwork.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, because you know the Inhumans, for everybody, for all the time they've been in Marvel. I mean, they've kind of been in and out. You know, they jump in for a while, they get hot, and then they go away.
They're a backstory.
Like, you know, they've been background characters for a long time.
Mhm.
And,
And they were living out in space for the longest time too. I don't know if they're going to go back to the moon for the show or be on Earth.
That's like Fox saying we're going to do an Excalibur movie. Like nobody's going to be like jumping to go see that.
I don't know, man. I want to see Captain Britain.
I do too. That would be cool. But
I think
I think there's a lead into that, but it's going to be after an X-Force and a New Mutants movie.
You know what's funny though is they have the pieces there. They have the pieces there to make that movie. As much as everyone's like, oh well, I don't know. Oh,
Well,
look at it.
They got
Think about it.
Psylocke. They got Psylocke.
Yeah, they got Stylock, right? So if Betsy Braddock's out there, that means Brian Braddock is somewhere.
Yep.
And you know, you also have a young kid, the kid that played Nightcrawler in Apocalypse. So he can be in the movie, you know, as Nightcrawler. You know,
got
just
Kitty.
cast a new Kitty Pryde.
Yep.
And I mean, and what do you need? Namora, and you pretty much got that team.
But you
That's
can
all
do
you need.
anything. That team was interchangeable. You could just throw whoever else.
Oh,
you
and
wanted
was
to
it
there.
Rachel Summers? You get a Rachel Summers character.
Yeah, there you go. You got a Summers on.
It's just like you just need to cast 3 more people. CGI Lockheed in there.
We're writing a new
yourself a
Excalibur
movie.
book over here. What y'all doing?
Exactly. You got it. I mean, it's like the pieces are there when it's coming out, 2027.
We should be paid for this. Couple of shout outs. We got Great Legend here is in the chat. Deadpool, got Instagram. Rag718 is here. A lot of people in the chat, so I'm glad to see that. I called out everybody. Yeah, that I could see for a while. Ramiro, I called you out before. There you go again. So yeah, I think that it would have been better as a movie. That's my opinion.
I think
I
so
know
too.
that they started with that first, but then I don't know why they changed it. But it would have been better if they just stuck with that, and it would have been coming out next year if they had kept to the original plans. I guess they got to make way for like Black Panther and stuff.
Maybe. I mean, you know, I just think that big budget wise, that would have been the way to go. Just because, I mean, the Inhumans all have just crazy powers. It's just like they all do like just, you know, insane things. It's just like to see it on television, it's going to be watered down and it's going to be tough to. I think it's going to be tough to deal with. And it's just like
They're pretty much the X-Men all over again.
Yeah, I mean,
In a way.
Except blamer.
If that photo's anything to go by, you're damn right.
Yeah.
All right. So
Cow Black Bolt.
He's got to put that thing on.
You're not intimidating without your tuning fork on your forehead. Sorry.
All right.
You're just a quiet dude.
He whispers.
Yeah.
And hurts people by whispering.
He's
kind of a crazy power.
Yeah, he's
you
on.
You can talk, but you have this crazy power.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sidetrack.
Yep. Going down the rabbit hole. So latest Wonder Woman trailer, you guys saw it. It was released during the MTV. They used to call it the Movie Awards, but now it's what, the movie and TV show.
Isn't like Video Music Awards or something like that?
Yeah, they don't call it the VMAs anymore. It's the MTV Movie and TV Awards.
The Movie and TV Awards.
Yeah.
No, I did not watch. I saw it online.
Okay. Well, the trailer is the only part we're concerned about here. Fuck the other part.
But, I saw it while I was when Guardians of the Galaxy. I went to go see that over the weekend, and so that happened to be one of the trailers that was in there, and it does look like it's gonna be good. It looks like they're making steps in the right direction. The only thing that worries me is that her interaction with was it Steve? I think the dude's name is.
Steve Trevor?
Basically, her interaction with Captain Kirk is the only thing that can make things a little bit stupid.
Steve Trevor.
Yeah.
Steve Trevor, yeah. It's just like, that's the only thing that kind of worries me. But other than that, like her, what they were showing of what her upbringing is going to be like and her origin looks awesome. So I here's to hoping that they right the ship.
The first 20 minutes are going to be amazing.
That's right.
Exactly. I hope that's not what happens, because that's what happened with Suicide Squad. The first 20 minutes of that, when they were introducing everybody, was awesome. As soon as they got into the actual movie, it was like, fuck, what the hell did you do? Like what happened to all that good stuff we just saw like a while back? Like where did that go? So I'm hoping that they just
What?
What'd you say?
Suicide Squad was awesome. I disagree.
No, it wasn't. Suicide Squad was terrible.
I liked it too.
Terrible.
I enjoyed it.
No, certain parts were all right, but 90% of that movie was horrible.
I thought it was
You can't tell me that Enchantress going, and then all of a sudden having this weird English accent. You think that you can stop the Enchantress? I was like, what the fuck is this? I was
I'm gonna turn that into a GIF.
Well, did you want her to speak like Aztec or something?
She was weird.
Like a different language?
I didn't know. Yeah, all right. First of all, I didn't pay money to see her go from that weirdo spirit chick that was awesome until Viola Davis started stabbing her in the heart. Then she just got weird after that, and it just they didn't know what to do with her.
But El Diablo turned into like a big El Diablo monster guy.
Yeah, because
that was cool.
That was cool. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that that there weren't cool things about it.
That was unexpected. I did not know that was coming.
Oh, you had to feel it was coming.
I didn't know the character could do that. I didn't know.
Well, neither did he. But when you sit there and guys suppressing his power for like an hour and a half, and it's just like we're all gonna die.
I thought he was just gonna be like. I thought he was just gonna Human Torch out.
Oh, he had to do something really cool to show them all, I belong on this team, man. Wow.
I just so happen to also be an ancient South American tied into a deity type thing. Also,
yeah,
cool. I'm on this team.
Exactly.
That's right.
Hopefully, next movie, the bad guys will be closer to one of your backstories. All right.
Exactly. It's just like, you know what? The most powerful guy is the one that doesn't want to use his powers the whole movie. Then he finally does, and he's just like, oh, shit. Like, why do we even sign the rest of these guys up? Like, these guys are useless. We just have him. Let him get mad and burn stuff.
Came in and dropped the mic right at the end.
Exactly.
No, but back to Wonder Woman. I thought the trailer was good.
Yeah.
Well, way out of left field on that one, huh?
Yeah, man. No, I think it's gonna be great. Everything I've seen, I like. I love it. I think it's a cool story. Definitely it's gonna be an origin story. Obviously, it's kind of has to be for her.
But we're gonna have Ares in there, man. That's gonna be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's do, and we always do. Well, we've missed Guardians, but let's do domestic opening weekend predictions.
When does that come out?
June 2nd, I believe it's the 2nd.
Okay.
For Wonder Woman?
Yep. Early tracking has it around 83 million.
Ooh. More.
I'd say 77 million. Boom.
Dude.
77?
No faith in Wonder Woman.
Man. No, I just think that, 77 million is what it's going to get in that opening week.
Okay.
She breaks 100. I'm saying 101.
101? Okay. Whoops, I wrote Edwin's voice.
No, I mean, I don't. I don't think it's going to do that much. And I'm just going back to the way comic books have always been. I mean, comic books are 85% male driven, and yeah, guys want to go see a hot chick on screen, but a lot of times guys also want to see, you know, the big muscular guys like Colossus or Wolverine or whatever. But then you also got to factor in that school's going to be out, so colleges are going to be out. So
and it's the weekend after Memorial Day, so everybody will have gone out on Memorial Day to the lake and the cookouts and everything like that. And then the weekend after, they may be more chill when you just go see a movie.
Yeah, I'm going to say 83 million high on the high end.
No,
domestically.
All right, we got wait, 83 you said?
Yeah.
Okay, we got a bunch of things going in the chat as well. Comically Flawed said 91 million, Deadpool got 100, Ramiro 125 million. So people are saying that very likely will do over 100. Rag 718 said 88 million. Yeah.
Wishful, all of it. 77. That's all you get.
I think the 125 is up there, Ramiro.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's up there. I actually went 1 million less than Comically Flawed. I said 90 million. I have always on these, like, I kind of always am under what it comes out as. These movies, at least recently, have really tended to overperform what we anticipated. And I think, you know, especially when the first reviews start coming back and people start saying, yeah, it is good, that's going to really drive people to the theater that maybe would have skipped out on it.
This is going to be one of those movies that word of mouth is going to drive it.
Yeah,
I'm saying, but I still think opening weekend, it'll break 100. Marvel will see that. And then in 16 months, we're going to have a solo, like we'll have our Captain Marvel movie. Like I don't think they're going to do that. They've already announced Captain Marvel. She's cast. She ties into the next couple movies. They'll fast track that one.
Jason Smith said 3.0 trillion. Okay. So
5 trillion.
He's being optimistic. I'm going to write that down, man. I'm going to hold you to that estimate.
Like $1 trillion.
Yeah. All right. No, I think that it'll definitely it's going to surprise people. Let me just put it that way. I'm not the best, you know, the most, you know.
We'll see.
With the reviews or whatever, but I have a good feeling about this movie. I think this movie really is the linchpin in the future success for DC. So it has to do well, you know. It really does.
Jesse's wishing to.
Ramiro said he's going to watch it twice to help it out. Good job, man.
77.
They're going to need it.
And these movies, like, you know, what is okay for a superhero movie is phenomenal for like any other movie. Like by comparison, you're looking at like 20 million is a good opening weekend for most movies. And keep in mind the budget for this movie was 100 million. So
that's
if it's
low.
on one weekend, if it does Edwin's 83 million, that is well on its way to making a profit already in like 3 days, you know?
Right.
So
you know, and it goes back to what I said last week. If the budget is, I mean, not to say that that's low, but for a typical
a massive action movie,
yeah. So you can definitely expect, like you guys said, an origin story and a lot of character development in this film.
Yeah, and Patty Jenkins, I know we talked about it last week. She's already talking about the sequel. So she's got to be confident in it too, right? And there was some talk about, you know, that this was a false narrative in my opinion, but, you know, like Bleeding Cool and some of these sites are talking about how they weren't promoting the movie as much as like they did for Suicide Squad or BVS, right? I'm sure you guys heard that. But at the same time, this far out from Suicide Squad, they had spent about 2.6 million on advertising. For this movie, they're already well over 3 million in advertising budget. So for anybody saying that they haven't been spending money on promoting it or doing things to put it out there, I mean, they're spending a lot more money than they did for Suicide Squad, which is a monster. Not in terms of critical, I'm talking financially.
But you got big names like Will Smith and the chick who played Amanda Waller, which has really come up.
Viola Davis.
Yeah.
She's a
I
great
didn't think it was that. I think it was the way they put together that trailer and the music they put to
the
it.
trailer was awesome.
Yeah.
And then put none of those scenes in the movie?
Right?
Yeah.
Or half of them, I mean?
That's exactly that. They're like, crap, people like that trailer. We got to reshoot some of this stuff.
Well, they also went with they were toying with the idea just because, you know, and they pulled out the last second, like, oh, it's going to be rated R. No, it's not. You know, I mean, Justice League is going to be rated R, so I think what you see in the trailer is what you're going to get. You know, it's all just going to be about execution at that point. So, you know, Wonder Woman's going to be the barometer that they need to, like Jesse's saying, you know, they have to have a big hit with that one, or else Justice League is, you know, they're going to go back, rewrite a bunch of shit and try to see if they can, you know, make it better and see what it is that they need to do to make people like it. So, you know, we'll see. You know, like I said, I'm not a complete sadist on it. I just think that from what I've seen before, and I'm just going off what I've seen before with the DC side of things. I mean, and yeah, I hope it does well, just because you know, there's a lot of DC characters I want to see brought out into the forefront and get movies and stuff. It's just, you know, you have to kind of go with what you've seen and what their track record has been, which hasn't been good. I'm sorry. Like, you know, The Dark Knight was a long time ago, man. And, you know, that trilogy was amazing. Everything else is kind of just falling short after that. And maybe it's their own fault for not following up on and signing up directors that could really make great stories when they had the chance. I mean, just because Marvel's universe wasn't really taken off, and now it has. And, you know, it's a lot of, you know, competition to get really good talent to make these movies.
Exactly. Like we were saying before, you know, people are approaching them to be these characters now. They're not having to reach out. So, you know, it's not, you know, the studio fighting over people. It's the people fighting over working with the studio. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's interesting, the dynamic between them, how it's changed over the years. But let's go on to, I did a unboxing from KRS Comics. I got this in the mail, and this will bring us to our next topic, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. I had showed you guys this on the website last week, remember? KRS, the Natalie Sanders, Gamora. This thing is phenomenal, let me tell you. If you don't see this in person, let me look at her face. Can you see it?
Yep, very naturalistic.
Yeah, it's really
exactly. I highly recommend this book. Anyways, glad to have that. That'll come up in another haul. I'll be able to show that again. But okay, so here's the thing. We're talking about Guardians.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
I saw you.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Everyone's like just yelled at you. She was like, "What? It's his show."
He did. No, I am like the only. This movie has done like phenomenally, like way better than anybody. You know, money and everything has been just over the top for it. So I feel like I'm the only person who hasn't seen it. But I know people want to hear what you guys have to think. This is the best time to talk about it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put myself on mute. You guys can talk about it, and when you're ready to move on to the next subject, just shoot me a message. I know what the
wave our hands.
No, send me a message over there in our chat. Just say you're ready to move on, and I'll come back. All right.
Okay. Oh, okay. We can do that as everybody went.
I mean, I can say that, you know, overall it was a great movie. I liked it. I think that I'm gonna say this too. I mean, and this is my opinion, but I mean, I think it's a popular opinion, which is the critics are full of shit. Everything that they were saying, like, oh, it's not as good. Okay, maybe it's not, you know, as good because the first Guardians was such a sleeper hit that no one knew what it was gonna do. Everyone just kind of went in, you know, with really no expectation, saw a movie that blew them away and was like, holy shit. This movie was great. I mean, it can stand up, you know, just alongside the first one. It was an awesome movie, really well done. You know, there was a lot to it, and there was not. It wasn't something where you felt like you were kind of not getting as much as in the first. Like there was a lot to that movie.
I'm with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, and I even think that, you know, the after credit scenes, the stuff that they were showing, you know. There's a couple of them that were kind of just, you know, just kind of like tosses off. You know, some of them were just humor. And then there was a couple of them that kind of furthered things along. It's like, oh, wow, this is, you know, like, you know, you got to see foreshadowing for a future movie. You know, and then on top of that, you know, it just, I think that they did a lot more development with characters too. kind of, you know, putting people into, you know, different roles and getting them to kind of, you know, flesh out some characters that you wouldn't have thought of before. So, you know, it was good. You know, if you like the first one, you like this one. There's you know, there's not that much of a drop off as far as, you know, the style and the quality. I just think that, you know, people who don't know comics and who just go and see movies, like some of the critics just, you know, will go ahead and be like, well, it can't possibly be as good as the first one because the first one was just that great. Well, guess what? It's damn good, and you need to go see it.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, like a lot of people in the chat are saying, the first one came out of left field. Realistically,
Yeah.
if you weren't a big like Marvel cosmic fan at that point, you really didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. Maybe you heard about Annihilation, but still, you got to be a comic book fan to know about any of that junk. So it really did it. It took everybody by surprise. The cast did a great job in that first movie. You know, the second one, I still think everybody did a great job. Drax, like Dave Bautista, like he's just killing that character.
Yeah.
So good as Drax. But people that say it's not as good as the first, it's a different movie.
Yeah.
The first one was more action-packed. It was, let's put the team together through this circumstance, and we have this massive villain we got to take down, so we can then say that it's tied into the bigger universe. Now with the second movie, we know who they are, but now we need to know more about them. So we got more, like, this was a big character development movie, is what I thought it was. Is you're reading a couple books where they're getting into these characters' backstories. We're seeing like Drax actually have emotion and things like that. So along those lines, I thought it was really, really solid, and along building to the trilogy finale, which will be 3. And they said after 3, they're going to change the team. So pretty cool if we get.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they've already announced that. So Guardians 4 would maybe have a couple carryovers, but for the most part, they're going to swap out members.
Well, I thought it was better than the first one. I mean, Chris, I understand where you're coming from. If you're coming from a comic book perspective, comic book reader perspective, I don't know how much you know about the Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't know jack squat.
No, I really didn't know much either. I just know, yeah, I mean, I knew of certain characters, but I didn't know, you know, the whole, like, you know, background behind all of them and everything like that. So, you know, I think we're kind of in the same boat.
Yeah, the people that I have come to find enjoy it the most are your non-comic book readers. They're just the casual comic book movie fan that's been growing over the past, you know, 17 plus years. It was entertaining. It definitely had that Disney feel, although I was really surprised when Drax started talking about penis in a Disney film. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, that wasn't necessary. Like, you know what I'm saying? But but man, like, dude, that was a fun film. It was awesome. It was entertaining. Visually is awesome. That the humor was all there. They had just enough spotlight on each of the characters, and they all still ended up coming together as a team. And I think one of the another good gauge as far as seeing whether or not it was better than the original. I think that domestic sales says a lot, because especially when you go look at Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2 didn't meet up to the first Iron Man. You know what I mean? It didn't.
Yeah.
Like Ninja Turtles 1 and Ninja Turtles 2. Like this movie already has exceeded, if I'm not mistaken, where the previous one was at in the same span of days.
Yes.
Yeah. And
it did. Now, did this movie also, do you guys, like, the runtime was supposed to be like 2 hours and 18 minutes? I think this thing went by like super fast. To me, this movie went by really, really fast and it was over. I was like, wait.
I think
there was no point where I was like, man, can this hurry up?
I think it did. I think it went by quickly. I think, and I don't know if they calculate, you know, previews into the runtime as well. You know, I think that it just kind of it didn't, like, it had a quick pace to it, but it wasn't so fast that you couldn't figure out what was going on. Like, you know, they did a lot. They did well to bring callbacks to some of the characters that you didn't know. specifically all that well. Like, you know, you got introduced to these people really quickly, and then, you know, saw them for a little bit, and then they brought them back again. It's like, oh, okay, so now I know who these people are. You know, kind of, I think they did a better job with that in this movie than they did with the Nova Corps in the first movie, because Nova Corps, you really don't get to know really many of them or much about them until, you know, I mean, and you don't really get to know much about them other than John C. Reilly. Like, that's the only one you really get to know out of the whole Corps. And I think that, you know, the way they set it up was good. I think that the way that they, you know, just executed this movie was really good and really well done. And, you know, it did what it was supposed to do, which is, you know, bridge the gap between, you know, where they came from and now where they're at, and then where they're going, like what's next for them. You know, it opens up that question and that possibility, and kind of leaves it at a point where it's just like, you know, you're not quite sure what's going to happen as far as, you know, what's going to tie in. When are they going to meet up with the other heroes in the universe, you know, for the Infinity War and stuff like that. So, you know, they did the right thing with that one, I think.
Well, you bring a good point about the Nova Corps. I'm actually getting more and more intrigued just the way they talk about it. They talk about it like it's a real powerhouse. You know, it kind of reminds me of the Rebels with Star Wars or something like that. Like, they're kind of something not to be messed with. And so I think maybe they're kind of leaving it open. If there's enough buzz about that, maybe do a Nova Corps movie, or, I mean, who knows, man? I mean, just the way that the villains are threatened by the Nova Corps.
Or I think that would be a good, I mean, it would be cool to have a Nova on like the new Guardians team.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome. They could throw Sam Alexander. There, they could throw him. I don't want that, but they could do that.
I mean, you could do a lot of good stuff with that. And you're right. You know, they do talk about the Nova Corps, like, you know, they're a group of people that really, like, if you get on their bad side, you have trouble for yourself. You know, it's almost
they're like space police. That's
yeah,
kind of the impression I get.
Basically.
Exactly. And it's like kind of like the opposite of how they talked about Ronan in the first one, like, where it was just like people were scared to death of Ronan because they knew that Ronan didn't ask questions; he just killed people. And it's just like, you know, it's like the same thing with the Nova Corps. If you are, you know, any sort of criminal, it's just like, you know, they hunt you relentlessly and they catch you and you go to jail. You don't want to spend time in their jails because apparently their jails are not nice places.
Mm-hmm. So I liked Stallone's. I didn't like it, but he wasn't in it enough that it bothered me. I know, like, I don't think it bothered Edwin. Didn't bother you?
Well, the way they hyped it up, like, oh, Sylvester Stallone was casted in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm thinking, like, oh, sweet, who's he going to be? Star-Lord's dad or something? And
that would have been funny. That would have been funny if, like, Jason, like, showed up at the end. He's like, no, wait, I'm really the son. I'm really your dad. He's just faking.
Yeah. No, they you know, and now that you say that, you know, that's definitely something that you know, I mean, not so much about you know, Stallone, but, you know, Star-Lord's dad, Ego. You know, Kurt Russell did a great job with that. I mean, a really good job. Like, you know, I found myself you know, really liking, you know, his character and the way it went about, and you know, throughout the movie, you know, he does such a good job of just being kind of a balance of funny to serious to, you know, basically, you know, when you see him towards the end of the movie, when he really reveals more about himself, it's just like, wow, like, it's just like, oh, like I, you know, like, he stepped into that character full you know, just really all in, and did a really, really good job of it. So I don't know if you're going to see more of Ego later on, but I think that, you know, if this is the only appearance that you see of him in that movie, you know, it was a really, really well done job. So, you know, it's kind of bittersweet to see Kurt Russell in a role that maybe he's not going to get, you know, another chance to do. Because I feel like if he had a recurring character, or, you know, maybe like a hero or a villain that they, you know, would keep, you know, just bringing back for other movies, he would really just, you know, step up that, you know, really step up the quality of all those movies. I mean, he's a great actor. So I'm hoping that more people will, you know, more seasoned and, you know, really great actors will step forward and want to be in some of these roles, because, you know, when they give it to some of these really seasoned vets, they really do some great stuff.
Well, and see, that's one of the big changes that they've made there is they, you know, spoiler, they made Ego a Celestial. He called himself, he was a celestial. So before, Ego was just a planet. I mean, he was on that kind of level, but he wasn't an actual celestial. So along those lines, they can do that with a ton of their other cosmic entities or whatever. They can call them celestials, and they can do the same thing. So that opens up a lot of roles for people like you're talking about and things like that.
Yeah.
What I like though about, go ahead, Edwin.
Well, I was thinking, I mean, just the way they make Kurt Russell look young. I mean, how amazing was that?
Yeah, and he said there was no CGI. That was just makeup. I was like, whew.
No, I don't believe that.
No. He said they said straight, no CGI. It was makeup. They just had him shaved, made him up, and for whatever reason. I mean, you got to think about it. All they did was just really. I mean, if they made him up really well, it doesn't need it. Like, I mean, he's not a really wrinkled up and beaten man. It's just they said no CGI for that one, which is I think really incredible. If that's
That's unbelievable because it looked not real to me.
It reminded me of the way they did Paul Walker in the last.
Well, it was the way they wouldn't actually go to his face either. Like they kept showing him through the mirror, and then her hair was in the way most of the time, or stuff like that. So.
They did in the forest. You got a good look at him.
Oh yeah, the forest. Forgot about the forest. Behind the Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
You know what? That's where when you get to Blu-ray, you just pause, like each frame.
So what I was gonna say though about Stallone's character, Stallone was playing Starhawk.
Starhawk, yeah.
Yeah, and Starhawk's mom is the Golden Lady.
Oh yeah, Aisha.
Yeah, that was his in the books. That's his mom, and his dad is Quasar.
Yeah, I feel like that woman's gonna play a role, and I've never read much about her, so I don't know if she's really that I guess superficial in the comics, where it's just you wronged me in some way, and I'll just kill you.
Well, she was originally created to be Adam Warlock's mate.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
So, but is she also just?
But they've changed that, obviously.
So if Adam Warlock rejects her, she's like, "I'll kill you, Adam Warlock. I'll eat your bones." You don't understand.
She's Venom. She's Venom.
Yeah. No one dumps me.
You know, let me say this real quick because I was talking to one of the guys that I work with at my LCS. I noticed that Fantastic Four, what was that, 67, 68, the first appearance of him where he's in the cocoon. And in that last couple of panels, I think it's 67 or 68, I apologize, where you actually see him, which is the same as Adam Warlock. I mean, there's a good...
Well, there's one book that's just the cocoon. And then there's one book where he shows up in a shadow of the last panel or something. And then there's another book where he is actually there.
Well, yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The one where he's actually there. It's almost like the Hulk 180, Wolverine's first appearance. Anyways, what we were talking about was that book. Ever since the movie has come out, it hasn't really spiked up much. Which the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I would tell people, and this includes myself, try to get that book if you can.
Yeah.
I mean, try to get it because if they because look at it like this. Adam Warlock, Justin, you can correct me if I'm wrong. He's a hero, right? Isn't he a good guy?
Pretty much.
Initially.
Yeah, and we've all talked about how villains are not really the type of books that you want to invest your money in. So I would tell people to go and get Adam Warlock's first appearance if you can, if it's affordable, because if he ends up being a fan favorite or something, or ends up kicking Thanos' butt, or who knows what, this could be a book that people would want to have in their collection for long time to come.
Yep. I think that Thanos. I'm sorry. I think
67.
Adam Warlock. When it comes to him, you also have to look at there's a few different books that you want to look at for that, because there's a Fantastic Four books. Then his next appearances are in Thor. Then I think him and Thor get into it for a little bit. They have a couple fights, and then Marvel Premiere #1 is his first solo. And then you have the Power of Warlock, his own book and everything. So I mean, he was big in the I want to say like 70s or so, like right in the Bronze Age. Right in the Bronze Age, he kind of like started making more of an impact. Because I think they were going more sci-fi at that point.
Yeah, I think when they initially came out with him, they were pushing him hard, but then they didn't know what to do with him for a while until Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, exactly. Because you saw him come out, have some books, and then kind of just fade away. And then even after Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity War.
Well, they kept on going with Infinity War and then Infinity Crusade and blah.
Yeah.
And so
Crusade
they're just like push.
Yeah, and then his was the Crusade was different. I want to say that it was I always confused whether it's Crusade. I think it was the Infinity Watch. Was the Warlock and the Infinity Watch? That was like the long ongoing series that they had with it, and I think that's when they kind of ran the character into the ground, where it's just like, we don't care about Warlock anymore. Really, we've had more than enough of him.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think if he's even shown up after Secret Wars. I can't even remember where he was showing up before Secret Wars.
Oh, after Secret Wars? I don't think he was even.
I don't think he was in Secret Wars.
No. I'm talking about 2015 Secret Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Like, has he since Marvel relaunched everything? I can't.
Yeah,
I can't
kind of in the weed.
where he's been, or if he has shown up at all.
Yeah,
unless he showed up in Silver Surfer, and I'm not reading that. So.
Now here's something. There's a So I don't know if you guys read this, and this is a. I'll say this much. It's a spoiler in a way. There's an Easter egg that goes back to the very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie that has basically it basically lets you know a spoiler about this movie. So they put the Easter egg in there 3 years ago to let you know a little bit of information about this movie. It's able to be decoded, and it gives you a little bit of stuff. I don't know if you guys have heard it. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I'm not going to go ahead and straight out say it because, for everybody who hasn't seen it, it's definitely something that
What scene is it in?
Well, okay, so
we'll talk about this and then we'll wrap it up so we can bring Jesse back.
Yeah, so it has to do with a couple of numbers. So in the very beginning, 1988, in the beginning of the movie, then when you see was a Ronin ship, the coordinates on the bottom, and just look at that, and then just remember it can be decoded. And then after that is when they go to nowhere, another group of coordinates that can be decoded. And basically what happens is that when you decode it, so if you do it chronologically throughout the movie, it says a message. But if you can arrange them any way, and it still comes out with the exact same, basically you can get the exact same clue from it. I would say, check it out. If you've seen the movie, check it out. And it's just like, that's what that was. It's a 3-year-old Easter egg. I thought that was pretty cool that they, James Gunn hid it there in plain sight for everybody to see. You just had to, be smart enough to, unencrypt it. And it was there way back whenever. So.
Cool.
Yep.
I'll have to go back and watch that now.
Yes. That was the only thing I wanted to add. So.
All right. So, in closing, we all like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it was good.
I give it a CGC 9.8 white pages, signed by Stan Lee.
Signed by Stan Lee. Ooh.
Twice.
Dude!
Double signed because he's old and he doesn't know that he's.
His cameo was awesome. His cameo was awesome, and we got it twice.
All right, here's another. Did you guys kind of pick up? So he's hanging out with that group of people,
right?
People,
with those
and,
people.
There's speculation that Stan Lee might not even actually be Stan Lee in all the Marvel movies. There's speculation that he's actually a different character altogether that has to do with those guys. The only thing that kind of there's only one line that he says that makes me kind of disprove that, but it's very strong that he could be among those people that he was hanging out with.
He's the one above all?
No. Just think. So
he could just be kind of one of those peoples, maybe.
So.
Okay. All right. I'm with you. I like that. I like to think that. I like that he is not what we think he is. That's fun.
Just because
holy junk.
He's regaling a couple of things like when you first see him, he's like, and guess when I was blah 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 blah. It's just like so that's what the theory is. It's a theory. It's not really a set in stone thing, but potentially
there The other theory on that, though, is that they couldn't use that one specific person
Yeah.
because
So
Sony
he's
might own him. Because Sony might own him.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, all right. Where's Jesse?
Jesse. Somebody message him.
He's just in that show like.
I'll send him a
He took
Facebook
over my
message.
show and they wouldn't let me back.
I went back. But on the topics though, the next one was like Adam Warlock, him versus Nova, whose books are better buy right now. I think we kind of went over that.
Yeah, we did.
So.
Yeah, we kind of went over it.
Oh, okay.
I was typing in the chat some of the books that have been going up in value. You know, even over the past couple months, like the Thor 165. Get a CGC 8.0 on that. In March, it was like it's gone up a couple $100. Check out a cool website. It's called ComicsMV.com, and you can track all the different, the historical data around sales. Pulls from eBay and stuff for CGC, CBCS, and it goes way back to last year. I was looking at some of these books, even back to this time in 2016. Like Fantastic Four, the 66, that's actually doubled, more than doubled. It was like a $35, $40 book back in February. The last sale on it was, and I know there's the hype, so there's going to be the spike, but it last sale was $150.
What?
Yeah. Strange Tales 178 I looked up, and I did different grade points because that just happened to be like one of the most recent sales. So like Strange Tales 178, a CGC 9.0 on that back in February you could get for about $70, $80. And the last sale on that was like I think May 5th, and that was $190. So it went from $70 to $190 since February.
So now this is so you said comic and then just the letter NV or
MV. So
Mary Victor.
there you go. Yeah. I was gonna say Mike Victor, but yeah, Mary.
Whatever. Something that starts with an M.
Something with an M. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was looking at Nova too, and ever since about the same time since last year, Nova's Richard Rider. Solid character to kind of play on, and we kind of know some of the things that they're planning on for the future with some of the Guardians characters and the Cosmic characters. Yeah, there we go. He put it in there. Deadpool could put it in the chat. The potential for some of these to go up even more is definitely there with these plans where they're going to split the MCU and the Cosmic.
Right.
They're going to be doing like all new teams and new people.
And
after Guardians 3, right? And bringing in all these other Cosmic characters. So there's
I'd throw in Quasar, man. Quasar. If you don't have Quasar 1 and 2 yet, go ahead and grab those because they're cheap right now.
That's a good call.
Quasar will be one of the characters that they'll eventually do.
Yeah.
Good call.
But Nova's been sitting around $170 for about this. I looked at year over year. So May of 2016 till now, and there's been a little bit of fluctuation there, but right. There's been a lot of sales, and it's been pretty steadily right in that $170 range. So that kind of gives
graded or raw.
That'll be graded. These are all graded quoted prices.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now, I mean, if you can get some of these, Adam Warlock / him books. I think that's where you can, if you wanted to, if you were so inclined to make some money off of it, that's where you're going to make the money. Or if you could get a Nova for like, 130, 120, you could probably get like $40, $50 out of it. But yeah.
I think I'm going to finish my Quasar run. Quasar! The key is you give in to the power. You don't resist the power. I remember the first issue. Sorry. That was the whole thing, because a whole bunch of people, like the government, of course, somehow got the bands, right? The quantum bands or whatever bands that Quasar wears. And they kept giving them to people, and they'd put them on, and they'd power up, and then they'd just explode. So, you had like all these like guinea pigs for the government that just like put these on and exploded. And so this one guy puts them on, and right before he's about to explode, he just gives in. He's like, all right, oh well, here it comes. And the power dissipates. So here it comes.
Wow.
There you go. History lesson on Quasar, his origin in 20 seconds.
Exploding Bane. That's cool. So yeah, what do you guys think? You think Nova's a good buy? I think
Nova's a great buy.
It's a long-term hold.
Yeah. Nova's definitely a long-term hold.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
it's a good solid book to have in your collection too.
Yeah. I mean,
he's really a key Marvel character.
Yeah. And on top of that too, it's just like, you know, he's someone who hasn't really, like you guys have been alluding to, like he hasn't jumped off the page yet. He's kind of a guy that you can buy that book with no problem. Like it's just like, you know, he's something that's affordable, and you know, it's one of those things where, you know, you can go after some of these bigger books if you want to, but you know, sometimes it's good to pick up some of these smaller ones, you know, at the time, you know, and not have to just spend tons and tons and tons of money on you know, books that really you know, you had the ability to go get when they were kind of cheaper. So you know, that's a book I would recommend picking up, just because you know, you may actually even end up seeing it in a you may end up seeing it in you know, sorry, not a dollar bin, in a back issue bin at a local shop. It's not necessarily a wall book yet at this point. I think in certain stores you'll see it like that, but for the most part, if you have a good back issue selection, you can find it probably for you know, in like a premium bin for like $35. I mean, you know, on eBay, yeah, it's gonna fluctuate, you know, especially if you're getting a graded one. But if you're just getting a raw copy, you can probably find one for you know, pretty decent money. You know, you're not gonna end up breaking the bank for it. So I say that's a good long term, and then, you know, let it build up and see if he ends up in the movie. If he doesn't, well, whatever. Right now, I would say, for, you know, agree with everybody else, if you're going for Warlock, now's the time to strike on that. And you know, if you don't end up getting it at this point, then it's going to probably be a while before you can get your hands on it again for an affordable price. So you know,
now is not the time to try to buy into something like I don't know, you know, any of these characters that have been in the movie that just came out, right?
Yeah.
It's not the time to buy those.
Yeah. No, like Starhawk, no. You know, and then I guess a bunch of the original Guardians, no, because, you know, they're looking. The one thing that they were doing is they're looking to expand in that universe and show you other characters. So there's a lot of people who are going to end up being, you know, characters that you're going to want to try to jump on and just be ahead of the curve. You know, what I would say too, honestly, is, you know, anticipate who the next big villain's going to be for long term. It's kind of like the next Thanos type deal, because you know, stuff like that, a villain like that you can invest in. You know, someone who's just going to be the villain of this movie. Well, that's not really
Annihilus. Everybody go get Annihilus's first appearance.
Yeah, why not? You know, I mean, they're good books to have, absolutely, but it's just like, you know, investing down the road is the way to go. So I mean, Quasar, I can fully agree on that one. Absolutely, you should be getting that book.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Like we were saying, you know where they're going, you know the direction that the universe is going to be going. So think 2 steps down the road, think 3 movies down the road, think 2020. You know, or beyond that. You know, it's not going to hurt you to pick those up if you want to try to speculate on them, though.
And try to anticipate Phase 4 a little bit. That's the other thing I can tell you, just because you know, if Phase 4, if everybody's rumors are true, Phase 4 means fantastic. Just, you know, it's going to be one of them things where anything and everything Fantastic Four, you know, related is going to go through the roof. Even, you know, like Galactus, like some of his heralds that you might not think might be a big deal, some of those are going to end up being, you know, they'll go from being dollar books to at least like $10, $15 books. It's just like, you know, you could be buying that right out of a dollar bin right now. So I'm not saying buy everything you see, because that's kind of crazy, but just, you know, just kind of be a little forward thinking. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key there, forward thinking. Actually, Ramiro kind of brought it up. Our next topic was Hellboy.
Yes.
Right? Planning a reboot for that, or rated R reboot for the franchise. And they're pulling in David Harbour from Stranger Things. It's called Hellboy, Rise of the Blood Queen.
Yeah. Nice.
So
cool name. I like the name. I like the title already.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it'll be rated R. I mean that. Yeah.
I just wonder, you know, the hottest sell for everybody's going to be, you know, not having Ron Perlman as Hellboy. I mean, he's been Hellboy he's been Hellboy twice in the movies, but he's just been that character. That character's been his for so long, and I know that he was saying both him and Guillermo del Toro are really upset now because they wanted to make a third movie. They wanted to get that trilogy going, and you know, they got the first two pieces, and they was, you know, I guess it was like one of those things where Perlman had told Del Toro, just say the word, and I'm ready to get back in the makeup. Let's go. And you know, it never came to be. And you know, they're both saying, like, kind of feeling that they got shafted, being like, oh man, like I got, you know, like we could have made this movie and now we can't do it because, you know, they're forcing us out. And it's just like, you know, the Golden Army was a long time ago. Like, you had a chance to make the movie, but the problem being, and the reason that I think they're rebooting, especially to a rated R, is that you know, those first two movies weren't all that profitable. Not saying that they weren't good movies, they just weren't all that profitable. So, you know, maybe now different director, different direction, different whole tone of the movie is going to help sell that and really make something successful. So, you know, a rated R Hellboy is going to be a lot darker, probably more of a horror theme to it. So, you know,
well, I'm looking on Box Office Mojo now. They were taking a chance making a second one because the first one had a $66 million budget, which I can't believe they did all that on only $66 million. That was a lot. And it made worldwide just shy of 100 million. And typically you need at least double, at least 2.5 times before you even consider a sequel. And they went ahead and did a sequel anyways, and it kind of paid off because the sequel cost them about 85 million, and they almost doubled their budget. So I think it's just one of those things where it's more risk than reward. And so
the sequel was good. I mean, both movies are good. I just think that, you know, when it came down to it, yeah, you're right. It's just like, you know, I remember when they first released that, when the first one came out, it was on Easter weekend. So it's just like, you know, the last thing you're going to do is have a lot of people who, especially, you know, the religious crowd, go to see a movie about a devil on Easter. Like that's just bad marketing. Like, you know, had they released it on Halloween, no problem. It's just like, you know, all right, we just got done Easter dinner. Hey, you want to go see Hellboy? No, it kind of ruins the whole, you know, theme of the day. I'm sorry, that's not gonna really work out so hot.
I think that the movie, like, it developed a cult following after a while, right? Everyone was like realized that it was actually a pretty damn good movie, and maybe the Blu-ray DVD sales sort of influenced the idea to maybe try it again.
Maybe so.
Maybe.
Well, didn't Hellboy, because of Mike Mignola, have a nice following already?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, it was a book that really, you know, for an independent, I think it's sold more than any other. Like, it's just been that really, like, you know, awesome.
It was on Dark Horse almost the whole time, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the thing was, you know, it did really well, and people, you know, people really took to it and they liked it just because of how different it was. But you know, it's just one of those things where, you know, does it translate over to the mainstream well? You know, it didn't, just because a lot of people didn't. I mean, you had to be a comic fan to really know what that was all about. And then on top of that, you know, it's a cool character that can be expanded on, and there's a lot you can do with it. But, you know, it's just, like you said, like, you know, if the studios feel like they're taking a risk, there's no reason for that. And now it also came out at a time where superhero movies weren't, just comic book movies in general weren't really embraced. So now you can re-release it. You can reboot it and hope to get a really big, you know, return on there, or at least something close, because it's going to be different. And you release it around Halloween so that it has that horror following, and it's just, you know, just that darker tone to it. You know, you can have a Halloween, basically like a Halloween tradition for the next 2 or 3 years if you want to do a trilogy for it. So
that movie came out in 2004.
Yeah,
really.
That was like that was X-Men had just broke out. I think they had X2 out already, and Spider-Man 1
came out.
Was already out. So
we were getting into like the Elektra, Daredevil, Catwoman era.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe it was just bad timing a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, had they waited until 2010 to make that movie, like, you know, they already would have been done a third one by now. But it's just it was just at that time when it was really tough to try to embrace a comic book movie. It was almost like the same stigma with like video game movies, where it's just like video game movies don't work. You remember Mario Brothers? No. It's just like remember Doom with The Rock? Yeah, no.
But Mortal Kombat was awesome.
The first one. The first one. Yeah.
The second one was, oh my god.
I like them both.
You can't have liked them both.
Did you see that? There's something.
There's that one scene where they look at a mountain and someone just pops up doing a flip. No.
What do you mean? That happens all the time.
I know, right?
You just pop out of mountains?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Like that movie, literally, like there's college students that have done like films, silent films that were just masterpieces compared to that piece of garbage. And it was like, there's nothing salvageable with that. Was it Mortal Kombat Annihilation? There's nothing good about that movie. Not one little shred of or iota of anything is good about that thing. That was literally just like, we need to make a movie. Just put a bunch of people in there and have them do some things. And really bad CGI and effects. Just throw it all in. Throw it all in there. People are going to eat their popcorn and love it. Trust me. There's this guy named Edwin out in Texas. He's going to buy it.
He's going to love it.
No, the thing is, I actually worked at a cinema when that second one came out. So I think I saw it like 3 times while I was working there.
Oh, so you had enough time to end it. But you know what?
Yeah, I desensitized myself and made myself like it. So
he's like, the mountain pop out isn't that bad. And if you really look at it from a different angle and just really understand what's going on in the film at that point, it works. You have to really just see it 3 or 4 times. It's like, no.
It was
not today. I'm not buying your snake oil, Edwin. I'm sorry.
I remember when that movie came out, I was the martial arts studio I was at. We did like a demonstration at the theater. It was pretty cool.
Awesome.
I think we did better than the movie.
We like beating up the kids and stuff, and
man, we were doing that, doing all these yeah, exactly. It was fun.
Oh man,
it was a good time. All right, I sent SpideyFan the link, so he's gonna pop on here, and then we're gonna do his contest. They're drawing for that, so whenever he's ready, if he's still here. Oh, I didn't hit the send button.
Oh,
So we lied to everybody.
Yeah,
SpideyFan.
I typed it in there. I'm like, hey, here's the link for the show. Put the link in. I didn't hit the freaking send button. So.
He insisted to send it to you, but guess
what? Whoops. Yeah, Doom said that CGI is so good now that they could definitely do it. I think, was he talking about that or Spawn? Because he mentioned Spawn earlier too. And that's on the way as well. So I think did we talk about that last week?
Yeah, we talked about it for a while last week.
Yeah. Because that's when McFarlane did the announcement about the script, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
The CGI at this point, I mean, he's right. The technology is caught up, and people have really refined it to the point where you can do some really incredible things. But and some of those movies, unfortunately, did suffer from the fact that just the knowledge of the industry and what to do and how to make these things come to life, didn't really. It just wasn't really up to par at that point. But now, I mean. They could remake that and just have something that'll blow you away. Just it's all about how the story is written and everything else. Like the effects will take care of themselves. You can have a crazy, great effects-driven movie, but the story has to be good, or else you end up with Transformers. Sorry.
I like that too.
Michael Bay, no. Michael Bay hates the 80s. He tried to ruin everything.
Did you like all of them, or just certain ones?
No, the first
the last
one
was pretty long.
The second one was terrible. The third one was terrible. The preview for this next one, I was just like, I'm not watching this shit. I refuse.
Why's Prime got to be a bad guy?
I don't care about Prime being a bad. It's just really, really bad.
Vin Diesel's a bad guy.
You know what they're talking about with Transformers? I think it was maybe it's just a theory, but that ROM is going to be in it. It's going to kick off the whole new universe for them.
IDW universe.
Transformers.
The GoBots.
Yeah. So
Space Knights.
They're bringing a whole shared universe. But we have a guest here. We have SpideyFan. What's going on?
Hey,
what's up, Spidey?
Okay? What's up, guys?
Hey. So tell us about your contest and kind of what you did for the day, and then we'll go into doing the drawing here. But tell us a little bit about yourself, your channel, and the contest you got going on.
Sure, cool. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Sound good.
All right, awesome. Well, first of all, I just really appreciate being able to join your guys' podcast. You guys have been doing great stuff. Really love the comic conversation. And it's not a contest that's just run by me. It's really a collaboration between Contender, myself, and QB Comic Addict. So we just wanted to do something cool for the YouTube community. Free Comic Book Day was a great opportunity to go do that. It was a great opportunity to kind of give away some books. And so yeah, we're just really excited. We're actually pretty surprised. I think QB Comic Addict is lurking on the chat as well. Contender might be held back with work and whatnot, so he isn't able to join us. But yeah, we were just surprised at all the amount of participation. I think we got 20 or maybe 23 entries. So,
yeah, 22.
So pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
And actually, Jesse, I think there's maybe 2 more that didn't get on that list that I sent you. So Rag718 and Alex the Comic Hoarder, coming in fashionably late. I think he was the last entrant, just a few minutes before your show started.
All right, cool.
So,
Let me just double check here. All right, cool. Yeah, so they're not on there, so I'll add them in right now.
Perfect, thanks. And so for those of you guys that are on the chat and on the podcast that aren't familiar, basically a number of us got together. We put together some prize packages. I've got, I think, 21 books to give away for one prize winner, so we'll do that one. QB Comic Addict has a number of great books. Of course, his favorite, Adam Hughes, among others, that he's giving away. And then Contender's got a great batch of books as well. So we've asked Jesse as the kind of overall host to do the random, and I think he's gonna do it 3 times, I guess. So the first one we'll do the winner in alphabetical order. So we'll do Contender's prize giveaways first. The second time we'll do it for QB Comic Addict's prize, and then the third time for my prize pack. And we wanted to do something special too for the guys that stuck around for the Comic Conversation chat. So I'm going to give away an extra book just for the folks that are actually in the chat. So
awesome.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end, I guess, Jesse.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
All right, very cool. Well, yeah, thanks for doing it. Thanks for reaching out to me and wanting to use this platform to do it. I appreciate that and humbled by that. So happy to do it, man. So let's get right into it. What do you say? Let's do the first one.
Yeah, perfect. Sounds good.
So I'm going to use random.org is the site. Okay. And what I'm going to do there it is. Okay. Okay. So the first one we have here is the dice, right? So I'm going to roll the dice, and it's going to tell me how many times I'm going to randomize the list. And when I randomize that many times, the person on the top will be the winner. And then, like he said, we'll do that 3 times. Those will be the 3 people. Okay. So I'm going to roll the dice. Okay. So it's 5. Okay. So we're going to jump over here. This is the list. This is everybody he gave me. And so we're going to randomize 5 times. Okay. And then the person on the top will be the winner.
And this one's for Contender's prize package.
Right. 2. 3. Can you guys see the list?
Yep.
Okay. There's 4. And actually, before we do 5, let me just present myself to everybody. There we go. Okay. All right. So this next one will be the winner for the first one.
Comic
All right.
And what's pretty cool about this, Jesse, I thought was really neat for this contest, there are quite a few people who signed up just to participate in this contest. So obviously, the free books are always a good thing, but getting more people to actually do videos, getting more people to actually join YouTube, that's what this is all about. So I was pretty excited to see that too.
Exactly. And I really like the idea behind the contest you did, and just kind of like getting people out and, supporting their LCS and just being involved in the whole day and the process. And not only this community, but, your community in your area, your geographical area. So definitely a cool idea for a contest. All right. So that's the first winner, Comic Call. So let's do the dice again. Maybe we can.
And if you can, it'd be great to take out Comic Call for the second one, just so that, he doesn't win a second or third time.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind, but just to make it fair.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose it?
Malfunction. Okay, so I am going to go back here and get the list again. Okay. Alex, the comic 718. Make sure caps because he likes all caps. All right, so 4 this time. So we're going to randomize 4 times.
Take out Comic Call. Take out Comic.
I did it again, didn't I?
Good catch, good catch.
I'm too excited. That's what it is.
Yeah, this one's for QB Comic Addicts.
Yeah. I'm actually just going to copy the list just in case. All right, so 4 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Wahaha. Next one is the winner. And we have Alex, the car reporter.
There you
Congrats,
go.
man.
Cool. So, yeah. Congrats to Alex there. I don't think he's on the chat right now, but we'll definitely get in touch with him on that one.
He was in there earlier.
Okay.
He came out. Boom. All right. So let's do this again. See how many we can do. 6. Okay. So we'll randomize 6 times here. This will be the winner. 2. Tells me on the bottom 2 times in case I forget. There's 3. 4. 5. Next one is the winner.
All right.
Okay, Canadian Comic Hunter.
Very cool. And I think this guy's the one that does his videos where he doesn't actually talk. He just plays the soundtrack in the background, shows off some great books. So I've been giving him a hard time to, at some point he's going to have to reveal his voice. So hopefully this is the one.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to all the winners. I think we wanted to do something special for the people that are on the chat as well. So Jesse, I don't know if there's a way to easily grab everyone that's in the live chat. Is there a way to do that?
No, I just have to. If you're here, if you're watching, just say hi in the chat, and I'll get your name in there. We'll do it that way. I gotta type them in manually. That's the only way to do it. So don't worry, I'm a fast typer.
Doom in the chat says Alex doesn't need any more comics.
Doom. 143. Great Legend. What we got? Jason Smith. I got Jason Smith there. Great Legend. Trinity.
Jason almost needs 2 votes because he's been very active in the chat.
Airborne Sapper, comic fan.
Okay.
AG Surfer.
Yep.
What else?
Surfer.
QB Comic Addict.
What German name? He was one of the 3 guys, wasn't he?
Rag
Yeah,
718.
he's one of the 3 guys. Let's put SpideyFan on there too.
And don't forget to put you guys in too, obviously.
Woo. Don't forget about Rag 718.
You could win your own books.
Yeah, and so this one's actually going to be a copy of I think it's X-Men Gold issue 2. It's the Addy Granov variant. So
nice.
let's give one away of those.
Ramiro Gomez. Lord Tatman.
Doom, if you win, I'm going to need your real address, man.
Let's see who else. Kingdom Comics.
Yep, that's right. You said you want us on the list too?
Might as well. It'll be a big list.
Yeah.
And this will be the randomized one where it's like one time.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you get guys like Buckshot 33 and Exile State Comics?
Everybody except Buckshot. That guy, I don't know about him.
Yeah, we're not gonna put him in.
Nah, he's.
Oh yeah, you took that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's everybody. I got Trinity.
Deadpoolica Instagram. Don't forget about Deadpoolica.
Deadpoolica. Yep.
That's right. I got a copy of Deadpoolica.
Is anybody gonna buy that? Chris, did you want to rant on that for a
Oh
second?
yeah. Well, I was thinking we would get to that in like new books because that doesn't sit well with me. I'm sorry, but let everybody know how I feel about that.
The angry Bostonian comes
Right.
forth to speak. What?
Yeah, throw some tea in the water.
Aha, yeah, exactly.
Tom's on here. Tom Warren. All right, I went way up. All right, I think that's a good list. We got
Blackpool.
everybody there.
Wasn't Blackpool here at the beginning?
That's
He
right.
was.
Blackpool.
You spelled Strictly Comics wrong.
No, I didn't.
It's okay.
You spelled it wrong.
You spelled it wrong.
Oh!
And we
I'm
can
just messing with you.
We all know
See,
what
it
it
has
is.
too many letters. You need it just an X.
Edwin, if you win, you can change your name to COMICS. How about that?
That's right.
Thinking about doing it.
Hey, look at this. Comics.
Comics.
Wait, who was I gonna?
That
Who
guy
is
doesn't
that?
exist.
Ooh,
Blackpool.
Deadpool.
Blackpool.
Yeah. No, I already typed in Deadpool. Son of
Hey, Alex just joined. Who told him the good news?
Blackpool. Blackpool is a town in England.
Okay.
I'm on Strange. We're gonna go on forever if everybody just showing up.
All right. I think you're good. I think
All
you're
right.
Well, Alex just joined, so I guess you can add him too. Of course, he already won something, but
Did I put him? No, I guess I didn't. Okay. All right, I'll add him in. Deadpool, like I said, it'll take 2 entries. Go ahead and add an A in there.
good. All right.
Ready?
Do it.
All right. So we are gonna roll, and we do. Oh God. Okay.
None.
good thing it's just a click.
That's right. So we're gonna do 9 times.
Here we go.
A.G. Smith. That's supposed to be A.G. Surfer, by the way.
Ooh. And that's as close as I'll get. Uh-oh.
4, 5, 6, 7. Blackpool. Buckshot, you're at the bottom there.
No.
Oh.
Next one is the winner. And it's Kingdom Comics.
Kingdom.
Oh.
Congrats
Very
to
cool.
Kingdom Comics.
Very cool. Congrats to
Nice.
Kingdom Comics.
Dun, dun,
Hey.
dun.
Jesse, thanks again for letting me jump on the chat. I'll get something up to all 4 of you guys too. So just I'll shoot you PM, and then you guys.
It's
can
okay, bro. You know that.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, we appreciate
No,
it.
it's all good. Thanks again.
All right, awesome. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always fun giving away books that aren't yours.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm gonna jump off. So
All
thanks
right,
again.
man. Yeah. Take
See
it
you,
easy.
Spidey.
Have a good one.
Later, Spidey.
You know, I just thought of a good idea. Like, what about like you get like a community of maybe 10, 20 people. Everybody put in like a book that's like maybe like, I don't know, $20 to $50 in value. You send them all to one location, and then somebody wins all those books. Like, how awesome would that be?
That would be insane.
That
It's
would be
just
cool.
it's just an idea, yeah.
I want to win it. Can I win it?
No.
How do I enter into my own contest? Yes. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a lot of fun though.
Yeah, that was cool. And yeah, you know, if anybody else has a contest they want to do or announcement they want to make or any type of something, feel free to reach out to any one of us and we'll, you know, roll it into the show here. Be happy to do that for anybody, you know.
We
So,
can make it happen.
that's right.
Okay.
So let's talk about new books for tomorrow. Mañana. What are y'all looking for? I got some picks that I'll share. But
I have like one of the lighter weeks I've had, and I can't remember. So low volume books. I'm happy about 80 After Death finally coming out with number 3, so we can end that. And then I can figure out where to put those things since they're massive.
really, yeah, giant.
Mm-hmm.
What do?
I've
You can't put them in a box.
No, you
Where you
can't. And I've seen people. You can get them graded.
Yeah.
So I guess they're like oversized magazine to us, huh?
Is anyone looking forward to Unleashed number 4?
It's on my list.
Unleashed number 4.
Yeah,
It's through Amigo.
I missed number 3. I have 1 and 2, and then I never found number 3, and I'm not quite sure if I'll end up finding number 4. If I do, I'll pick it up, but if not, it's all right.
That's right. Yeah. All right. So, want me to run through my picks?
Sure, go for it.
All right. So the first one that I think people should be looking for, anything through Scout Comics, really, in my opinion, is a safe bet. So we have Mindbender, number 1. It's James Pruitt, who is Joe Pruitt's brother. He was on the show a while back. He was over with a different company, doing like Black Eyed Kids and stuff. But his brother is working now with Scout, and they got Mindbender. Great book. Looks like a great book, I should say. Pretty awesome covers there, and there's a lot of talk about that. So I recommend checking that out if you like it. Pick that one up. And also another book that's gotten a lot of attention, also through Scout, is called Solar Flare. Have you heard of it? James Hake, I think I'm saying it right. Issue 2 is coming out tomorrow, so that might be one to look for if you haven't heard anything about that book. Check it out. It sounds like a cool concept. What you'd expect if you hear of a solar flare and all the electricity goes out and that type of thing. So sort of like a post-apocalyptic type story. There's a book called Misfit City.
Yep.
Right, and it's Kiwi Smith is the writer. If you like anything around like the Goonies or like Curly the Gold type of stuff, finding treasure and that type of thing, that is a book that you might like. And there's actually a variant cover for it that is an homage to the Goonies. It's got the Goonies poster on it and stuff.
Nice.
So it looks like it'll be a fun book if nothing else. So that's called Misfit City. Another book coming out tomorrow by Colin Bunn is called Regression. That book definitely is one to look for. It's getting a lot of attention as well. And the cover, actually, that they had on Midtown is not the cover. That's a store-exclusive cover. So that image there with the skeleton, like the chest part, the torso with like some of the entrails hanging out, that's actually a store-exclusive cover. Somehow it got mixed up and they put that on there. But that looks like a good book. I'm definitely going to check that out. And there is the Spawn variant month is happening. So that's one of the books that's getting that treatment. It's like the guy, and he's got like bugs on his face, and they're like in the shape of like the Spawn eyes.
Oh, nice.
It looks pretty cool. And then there is another book called Medicine. It's through Action Labs, I think it's called. Have you heard of that?
I've not heard of Medicine, no.
Okay. It's Jeff Dyer's writing it, and it's sold out. I think it's got a really low print run. So if you can find that book, especially for cover price, it might be worth picking up. It's about these people that it's sort of like Night Nurse, right? She goes and she like helps out the superheroes, fixes them up after they fight and stuff. So that's what these people do in the story. So that's pretty cool. And again, low print run.
What is it called? It's Medicine?
Medicine, like sort of like medicine, but at the end it's SIN.
Okay, that's out of Danger Zone comics.
The Danger Zone, yeah. I'm trying to think what else. All New Wolverine. You guys read that? I do. X-23.
I haven't been.
It's up to issue 20, and there's a Helen Chen cover that's sold out. It's an incentive variant. It looks really nice, really bright and little on there and stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
I picked up the last 2 or 3 issues, so I'll probably pick this one up also.
Yeah. Heathen #1 has a second print.
Yeah, I like that cover a lot. I kind of want to get it, but I already have Heathen #1. I'm not sure if the second, like, I mean, would
You could get the second print to keep in your box, and you could get the first print graded.
Well, yeah, you know,
There you go.
there's always that. But I mean, I'm just thinking about it, like, you know, in terms of, you know, would this be a book just because the first one had such a low print run? Would this be a book to get in a second print, maybe just because it's still going to be, even though it'll probably be more than the first, it's still going to be pretty low print run.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if it's one of those ones that kind of falls into that same rule of pick it up, because even though it's a higher print run than the first run, it's still going to be low.
Yeah, I don't know. So on that one, it's a hard call. Like other books, you can get the second print because you know that there's going to be a third or fourth or something like that. This one, I'm not sure. But as much as I like the first one, I'll probably get the second print just to have it. You know,
The cover's really nice.
yeah.
I like
That's the thing is, and you never know with the second print, they may throw something in there or they may change something just a little bit. You know, worth checking out.
That's right. The next book I was going to mention, they're already talking about in the chat. It's Old Man Logan, issue 23. There's a Bill Sienkiewicz cover where like Old Man Logan's kind of like squatted down, or I don't know what he's doing there, but
Yeah, that's going for there's speculation behind it.
Yep, exactly. Hot book right there. So I would get that.
Is that a WordPress store, or is that like kind of a, what's the ratio on that?
It's an incentive variant. So they had to buy, like, say it was 250% of this book to qualify for this book, that type of thing.
So most likely it won't be on the rack.
You know, the best thing with these books is today's Tuesday. I mean, it's too late now, but in the future, call ahead and be like, hey, I'm looking for this book. Can you put it in my box, or can you put it aside for me? That's your best with books like this that you know are going to be going quick. That's your best bet to kind of secure yourself a copy without having to resort to like eBay or something.
That's what I told my shop. I was like, anything that comes out from Vault Comics, just assume I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
There's a when I was doing pull lists today, this is like indie comic. You guys maybe have heard about it, but I haven't. I went ahead and set to the side King Tut Truck Driving Pharaoh by Trauma Comics #1.
Wow.
Here's a picture right here.
King, okay.
Yeah, by Trauma Comics.
Okay.
Yeah. I've never heard of it. They got like Kung Fu Satanists, and then they have like some kind of
I never heard
Is
of
it from like Traumaville, the same people that do like Toxic Avenger movies?
Oh no, like
I have no idea. I have no idea. I saw it's at #1. I thought it was hilarious. So I'm basically just getting it for. Yeah, I already got it in my box. Yep.
That sounds like a fun. You have to tell us next week what you thought of it, or
We're gonna need
you know what? I will. I will.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So another book. I know Chris has some words about this, but Deadpool, issue 30.
Oh, man.
Cover A is $10. It's it's one of those books. Yeah, $9.99. But there is a Deadpool mentioned it too. There is a variant for it by Rob Liefeld, and I know it was up for Midtown for a ridiculous price. But that book, if you want like the variant for it, would be the way to go. Don't get the cover A for $10. That's just stupid.
All right. Here's my problem with this is the second book I want to say this year, since January, I think either January or very late last year, that has a $10 price tag.
Spider-Man 25 also had one.
No, Spider-Man 25 is. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Deadpool specifically is like.
Yeah, this is at least the third $10.
Yeah, it's like what? Like, so where do they think they're going with the $10 Deadpool? It's not for me. I don't collect Deadpool. I haven't. For me, he's so overhyped at this point where it's just like, I just can't really find myself getting excited for a Deadpool book. That's just me. But to ask $10 is literally like a kick right in the nuts. I'm sorry. It's just, that's just the way it is. It's just like, he's not as sustainable of a character that you can charge a $10 book. It just seems really like gouging at this point, especially when you look at, everything going on with people being as frustrated as they are with Marvel when it comes to you know, the whole Secret Empire storyline and everything like that, and that's something that we haven't yet touched about. But and I'll get into it in a second or two. But you know, it's just like that I think goes further than turning Cap into a villain to enrage people. Whereas it's like, you know, a character that everybody likes because he's popular now should not have a $10 book. Wolverine, you know what I mean, never had a $10 book unless it was a trade, and he was, you know, at a time the most popular character that they had in Marvel for a long time. You know.
Well, I asked my LCS when the Spider-Man 25 came out. I asked him, I said, did you order fewer copies knowing that this was going to be a $10 issue? And he said no. He said he ordered the same amount of copies as he usually does. So I think the same thing applies to that.
He's talking about
you guys right now. That book is going to sell. We were all complaining about that Spider-Man that was $10. That was the #1 book that month.
Yeah.
Units.
Really?
Well, yeah, you know why? Because people were saying, oh, it had a first appearance in there. It had all this extra stuff in there. So I mean, it's 80 pages. It's 80 pages, so people are like, it's 80 pages, so it's worth it. I don't give a shit. I think
it's not.
I think literally it's a cash grab, and people are gonna buy it. And hey, if you like Deadpool, if it's part of your collection and you're trying to get that run, by all means. I just think that really it's kind of indicative of what's wrong with Marvel right now, where it's just like, you know, they think that they can just charge people $10 for, you know, just a popularity of a character. Okay, we're gonna put. I mean, if there's no first appearance,
those figures apparently reflect that they can.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
The reason why though is because if there's no first appearance and nothing significant about that, other than it's just a thick ass book, then I mean, hey, like that's part of the problem, you know. And you know, if people want to give them their money, and just continue on, say, you know what, I just want to give them my money just because, you know, I like this book. Perfectly fine, but just don't complain when the fucking price of comics goes up to, you know, $7 and $8 now, because they're already getting you to pay $10 for these books. Every once in a while, they just slip one in. Watch, you'll be paying $6 and $7 for a comic. That'll be the base price within the next 5 years because of these $10 books.
Even DC, I think the most expensive book they put out was it earlier this year or last year was like, wasn't it $7.99?
The DK3, right?
And even that's pretty. I don't even think I picked that one up.
I didn't. As soon as I saw the price, I was like, I'm not spending that kind of money. I mean, I'll just wait for it to come to a trade. It's just like, you know, what's the difference? I'm gonna pay $25 maybe and get the whole story, or pay like $70 and get, you know, the whole story. And that's where I draw the line with certain stuff, where it's just like, I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. You know, I just think that at this point, you know, we as comic fans kind of have to remind ourselves, you know, what we like about certain books and what we're willing to, I guess, have, you know, remind ourselves of our standards when it comes to collecting, I guess. You know, if yours is to just get every single book that comes out, you know, for a run, perfectly fine. I have no problem with that. Like, I'm not gonna discourage anybody for collecting the way they want to collect. I'm just saying that, like, you know, it is something that you kind of have to take in mind when, you know, the prices do keep going up and people are like, wow, these comics are getting more and more expensive. That's fucking why, because I think it's just being done to test the waters. Really, honestly and truly, that's what I think it is. You know, pepper in these $10 books and see if they'll pay for them. Oh, they are paying for them. It's the #1 book this month. Perfect. So then they're not going to get mad when it comes to $5.99 a book and $6.99 a book, and then when it eventually reaches $10 a book.
Disney's. You know, I mean, Marvel's going to be the first. I'm telling you, man. Eventually, you're going to start seeing $5 books.
I'm sure consistently $5 books.
From Marvel.
Yeah, they'll be the first ones, and then
Dismarv.
Yep, DC will probably be not far behind.
But that's just my thing. I mean, you know, you have variants that will fetch a higher price. You have all these other, but just a regular cover, $10. I don't care if it's an 80-page book. It's not for me. I'm sorry. So that's just my rant on it. I think that it's just, you know, I really do think it's a really bad practice, and you know, I think that it's something that, you know, it's something that I, as a comic fan, I'm definitely drawing a line in the sand and be like, yeah, no, not for me. I'm not paying that kind of money for that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't buy Amazing Spider-Man 25.
Nope. So. I refuse to. When I see it in the dollar bin later on this year, I'll absolutely buy it. But until that point, nope. I'm not giving you that kind of money. It's bullshit.
like Deadpool said, just wait till you're at the next con. It will probably be in one of the bins. You can pick it up at a steep discount.
Exactly. Like, and that's fine by me. Like, I have no problem, you know, it's just one of those things where I just think that, you know, it's the company's taking advantage of us, and I am not about to go ahead and stand for that. I mean, for $10, I look at it right now. $10, I can buy at least 3 books that I want for $10. You know, for one book that really
if they're DC,
yeah. I mean, if they're DC,
Marvel, you can get 2.
If the Marvel, either way, you know, it's more than one book that I can buy for $10. That's what my point is, and it's just like, you know, I'm not saying that we should be getting it all for like, you know, super low prices. I'm just saying in general, you know, at some point we have to set our own standard and say, look, this is as much as I'm willing to pay for this shit, because I mean, I'll be honest, when it does start to get into be $6-7 a book, I'm just buying straight back issues. I'm not gonna waste my time. If I'm gonna be spending upwards of $7 per book, I'm just gonna buy back issues, and I'll be happy with what I buy, just because at least these have stood the test of time. Versus books that just came out yesterday, and you want $10 just for it coming off the shelf. I don't think so.
Exactly, and then eventually those will be back issues too. So then you can come up with,
well, yeah, I can pick them up for cheaper.
Yeah, in a couple of years.
If it gets to that point where books are $7 and $8 a piece, and that's like company wide, like all the Marvel titles are like that, you're gonna kill. Like they're gonna be putting out way fewer titles because they're not gonna sustain. I mean, at that point, I would cut down to like my core, very, very favorite, you know, books.
Yeah,
exactly. They'll price a lot of people right out of the buying market.
Exactly. But you know, I just think that, like, I'm telling you, like, I just get that vibe just because I know that Marvel kind of has Marvel for the most part. Like, I know that they're catching a lot of shit for Secret Empire, and they're doing a lot of things. Just let us tell the story. Just please, just let us do what we gotta do. Like don't make any judgments until the end. It's just like, no, you know. People are upset and frustrated, and they want to be able to go ahead and say, look, this is bullshit. Like, we want, you know, we deserve better based on this. And they've backpedaled and said a lot of things and basically blamed the fans for the fact that, you know, the sales aren't moving because, you know, it's just not something that, you know, it's all on you. You guys don't want diversity. That's the problem. And all this other shit, like, basically just kind of throwing everybody else under the bus and not admitting that, you know what, we're putting out a lot of bullshit titles that really nobody wants, and you know, we have stories that, you know, aren't really going anywhere, and you know, we need to do better for ourselves, and they're not doing that. So I think that this is part of that whole mentality where it's just like, you know, we can keep going with this and see what happens, you know, and it's just, you know, I know a lot of people will say, well, it's the event fatigue. Well, it's that, and it's also just being, like you said, being priced out of being able to afford certain stuff. It's just, you know, it's an expensive hobby. No one's going to say it's not. But, you know, there needs to be limits, I think.
I agree with Rag 718. He said if comics are $7 to $8, then paychecks should be increased too.
Yeah, well, that's good luck with that.
Fictional thought.
Yeah.
Well,
inflation doesn't care.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, did you guys already talk about the titles that Marvel's going to be cutting?
Not yet.
No. That's where we're at.
Well, yeah, exactly. So there was talk. There was actually 28. That was the number, but it wasn't anything official that they're going to be cutting. What it was somebody on Reddit basically used the 20,000 figure as a threshold, and that's usually kind of where they gauge if there's enough sales to keep the book going or not.
Right.
And there was 28 titles for that month under that 20,000 threshold.
That's crazy.
Right. So the speculation there was that they would be canceled. And you're talking about like Captain America, Sam Wilson, Gwenpool, U.S. Avengers, Man-Thing, Hawkeye, Elektra type of books.
Yeah.
Spidey 2099 was on the list. Thunderbolts. A bunch of the Mosaic was on there.
Yeah. And some of those I can agree with, and some of those I'm going to say, like in the case like Spider 2099, they're going to be like, it's too early to get rid of him because you don't know what's going to happen with him. It just started.
Even if they did cancel Spidey 29, they would just come back out with a new one of him. Like Thunderbolts and things like that. Those realistically, those teams are cool, but that book needs to kind of end after Secret Empire. You know?
Yeah. Spidey 2099 would just be in a Spider-Man title. Right.
They could easily wrap him into something else like that. So a lot of those characters or a lot of those one-shot titles, especially like Mosaic, nobody cares about Mosaic.
No,
Why did you give that guy a book?
You
Yeah.
can't try to force them on us, you know.
The one I am concerned about, and I'll use the word concerned, is Gwenpool.
That's odd. Yeah.
I like Gwenpool. It was about 17,000 for her, so well under that list. But I think, you know, after like maybe Generations or into Legacy, they'll give her a volume 2 or something. You know, I don't think, even if she's canceled, that's the last of her. I think she's too fun of a character to just like go by the way.
Too fun. It's just they didn't capture when they came out with Gwenpool. It didn't capture as much attention as Spider Gwen. It wasn't that big. You know, that's what they were going for.
And that was the thing, like, you know, everybody, she kind of flew under the radar. She's just people like, oh,
well, I mean, first of all,
cover,
Howard the Duck book. You think about
that cover, that variant cover for that Deadpool Secret Wars thing. You know, people are just like, oh, like, is this a joke? What is it? And then when people are like, oh no, it's a new character, like, you got to get that. It's just like, oh, okay. And
There's been more talk right now about Gwenum than her.
Yeah,
which is another from that same month, the Gwen variants.
And it's just like, you know, you know, there's a lot of books that I think need to go on Marvel's side. It's just, you know, there's too much stuff that's just being put out just to be put out, and it's not really done in a way that's going to be, you know, productive for the company. And you know, it's one of those things where, you know, I looked on that list and I'm just hoping, I'm like, all right, none of my favorites are on here, I'm good, you know, but. You know, it is sad when it's just like, you know, it's a good book and it's going away because sales aren't just working out for it. But then, I mean, most of these books are just books that just were fluff from the beginning and they're fluff now, and no one, like, literally no one's going to care one way or the other.
I don't know. I need to look at that list. I feel like some books that I like are probably on it.
Oh, probably. You know,
Ultimates 2 or something like that.
Yes, Ultimates 2 is on that list.
Of course.
Nova's on there.
Dang. Well, that'll probably happen.
I mean, it's known that that's going to be canceled soon. That was only like 14 and a half.
Yeah.
Well, it's like my wife says. She's like, whenever somebody's putting out crap, the best way to answer them is to answer them with your pocketbook.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just not give. I mean, it might be a process, it might take a while, but I think the less people talk about something and the less people are buying something, they'll eventually cancel it.
Do you ever feel that way with a title that you're reading and you're like, man, I really like this, and nobody's talking about it? I should do videos about this title or something, you know, just to bring up some hype.
I remember when Vibe for DC New 52 came out. I remember what's his name, Spider Slayer Mike. He talked a lot about that book, and I read the first 2 issues, and it actually was a good book. But that was one of those titles that was first cut by DC.
Yeah. Thunderbolts is on the list too. That's a book that I've been liking a lot, and they're saying it's not canceled. It did really bad, you know, sales wise, but they're saying it's on hiatus until Secret Empire ends.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like a permanent hiatus or if it's truly going to come back, but they're using the terminology on hiatus.
Yeah.
For now.
You know what's funny too is you know, I think a lot of the power of the statement that they released with, you know, just let the story play out and all the rest. I think they're afraid that Secret Empire is going to go that same way, where it's just like people aren't going to buy it because they're just too annoyed with it. And so they really, I mean, this is your big event and people may just boycott it because they're just pissed off at you. You know, I'm curious to see how that goes because in a way, I mean, that would, I mean, it's more than a wake-up call at this point where it's just like, you know, people just, I mean, your major event that you've been planning for all this time fell flat on its face just because you pissed off people so badly they don't want it. And what happens if they have to cancel it like midway through or they don't finish it because sales are just that bad? That would be pretty shitty. But then the other thing too is, I mean, I almost get the feeling that that book might be immune to that whole effect of, you know, everything being, you know, low sales and stuff just because of what's been happening with the free comic book day, you know, book that they gave out. People are just sitting there, and I'll say this much: I get it. It's very, very simple to do what they're doing with the free book. I get it. Like people have been burning them. Oh, free comic book day book. Watch, I'm gonna burn it because this story sucks. Well, you didn't buy it, so yeah, I get how you're able to be so brazen and burn that book. But you know, when it comes to stuff like that, it sometimes has the opposite effect where it's just like, you know, oh, you're burning a book. Oh, well, let me see what this is all about. Let me go ahead and buy this. So it's just like they inadvertently might be shooting themselves in the foot by trying to protest by burning that book, just like they did with the you know, the first Captain America with the Hail Hydra. You know,
Do they not see the irony in burning a book to protest?
Exactly. You know, that's the thing. Like people are just like, oh, like you know, you're protesting somebody who, you know, is basically joined up with, you know, Marvel's, you know, offshoot of Nazis, and you know, you're gonna burn the book, which is, you know,
known
pretty
for
much a
burning
Nazi
books.
practice,
Yeah.
and act like it's all good. And it's just like, you know, it's just,
They
you know,
slept through history.
yeah. I think a lot of people. I mean, shit. If you wanna, instead of, if you want to be symbolic, just rip the book in half. I don't want it. Throw it out. I mean, it's your dime. No one's gonna get mad at you. You know, you can do whatever you want with your stuff. But you know, it's just, you know, one of those things where it's just like the more you know, the worst thing you can do is sit there and destroy it and have a big temper tantrum and freak out and
Like
you know, yeah, like, you know, you sit there and do all that, and because that draws attention. That makes people want to see what this is about. So, you know,
They
Secret
say
Empires,
even bad press is good press. You know.
exactly.
Yep.
And I think that what's going to happen is just that I think that the sales will probably stay decent throughout Secret Empire because of the fact that, you know, there's all this, you know, just negative energy around it, and people are now starting to defend the book a lot too, and saying like, you know, let the man tell his story. You can't say anything about it until it's done. I mean, they've already kind of given away. They, by them saying be patient, things will be all right in the end. You know that Cap's going to get his memory back. He's going to be a hero at the end of it. So, you know, it's just all about seeing the journey, how it gets to that point. But, you know, when it comes down to it, though, you know they're going to write the universe back again and put it back to where it was.
That's how it always is. It goes back to the status quo. You know,
Legacy's
the
coming.
adventure, and then they get reset
Yep.
for the next story.
So,
Yeah.
so you know, with that being the way it is, I mean, do you think that, I don't know, does that, as a fan of comics and just as a reader who, you know, has been around this for so long, I mean, does that kind of upset you? Because it's almost like they're insulting your intelligence by being like, we're having this big event, but we already know where it's going to go because, you know, you guys are mad at us. So trust me, we're going to do what you want, but, you know, just wait and let it play out real quick. It's just like, I do find it to be a little bit insulting where it's just like, all right, so you've gone so far as to tell me what is going to happen, you know, and just tell me, well, to bear with you, even though we're going to build the story out and do it the way we want to, even though we know that, you know, people haven't been a fan of it and they're really upset. But in the end, you get what you want because you stomped and cried and you made a loud enough noise. I think that, you know, that should have been, I think that even leading into it, that should have been enough warning for them to be like, you know what, we need to scrap this and do something different because this is just not like what people want right now. And you know, it's actually kind of a humbling thing, and it's really telling that they have to sit there and beg people, please let us tell our story, and then make any judgments that you want at the end, but just let us tell us. It's just like, you shouldn't be doing that. As the number one comic company in the world, you should not have to beg your fans to stick with you.
Right.
So.
Exactly. All right, guys. So we're getting up to kind of late here, so let's go around, do some final thoughts and shout outs and, you know, whatever else you want to call out. But let's go ahead and start with Edwin.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
First, I want to thank everybody in the chat, and you know, everybody in the chat for coming on here. I actually found myself pretty entertained talking to you guys in the chat. So always a pleasure. Also, I want to thank everybody for checking out my first auction Sunday. It was a smashing success, and I owe it all to you guys. It was tons of fun, and I do plan on having another one here really soon, either June the 4th or the 11th. I got to kind of congregate and talk to my panelists first and see what kind of advice they might have for me. But other than that, it's been fun, and if you haven't seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2 yet, make sure you go see it. You will not regret it. I promise you. Don't listen to what all the feedback or the reviewers are all saying, or the critics and whatnot. Go see that thing. Make an honest judgment by yourself. It'll be fun, and enjoy your comic books day tomorrow.
Yes.
All right. I would give you that round of applause, but
We can't.
they took that feature away.
I know.
All right, Chris, you want to?
Yeah. So I want to thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank everybody who showed up and checked us out tonight. And also, you know, thank SpideyFan Contender for allowing their contest to be shown and run on our channel. It's really good to be able to go ahead and just interact with everybody throughout the chat and everything, and to have something like that on the where we, you know, allow somebody else onto the panel to go ahead and do that. That's really, really cool. And I'm glad that, you know, you guys, you know, wanted to do it here. So that's really awesome of you. Thank you. So yeah, I would say, you know, collect what you love, even though, you know, I got a little bit passionate on, you know, what I thought. Collect what you love, do what you want. You know, there's no wrong way to collect. So, you know, keep that in mind. You know, and just above all else, have fun with everything. So, you know, we all have differing opinions. We all have, you know, varying points of view as to what's good, what's bad. But, you know, in the end, that's what makes this a great, you know, community to be involved in. And it's just, you know, something that makes collecting fun, is that you can have those, you know, debates between each other and just kind of, you know, bounce ideas back and forth of what's good, what's bad, and kind of, you know, agree to disagree, or kind of meet up in the middle and be like, you know what, I see your point. Let me check out what you're looking at, and you know, maybe see things from a different angle. So in the end, you know, glad to be here and just glad to have some fun. Everybody have a happy comic day tomorrow, and get lots of stuff. And if you can't find, if it's a light week for you, like I've been saying the last few weeks, buy some back issues, get some stuff from the past, fill in some runs, and just really, you know, have fun with it all together.
There you go. Awesome. All right, Mr. Justin.
I don't know how to follow that up.
Just do it. What he said.
Yeah, what he said. Thanks everybody in the chat showing up. That SpideyFan doing his contest over here, that was really, really cool too. I thought it was awesome that the randomizer went above 4 on each of those. That was nuts. Normally you get one is like 2 or 3, but I thought that was really, really cool. Had a lot of fun talking about all the stuff that we kind of jammed in there this week. It was a lot of stuff, and piggybacking on what Edwin said, also go see Guardians 2 if you haven't, because you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff that's going to come very, very soon, I think, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe that they kind of plugged in there. So I thought it was awesome. And new haul for me this week. Also, I got a top 10 covers video that Comically Flawed's been on me to do for a couple weeks, and I've been lazy. The books are right there. I just got to do it, the video. So that'll be coming out very soon too.
Nice. All right, cool. So yeah, like you guys said, Spidey Contender QB. Thanks for coming on, doing the contest results here. You know, definitely humbled by the fact that you wanted to do it on this show with us. So that was really cool. And like I said before, if anybody else wants to do that as well, if you have an announcement to make, or you just want to be part of the panel with us and chat, feel free to reach out, and you know, we'll work it out with you. So definitely cool there. I will be seeing Guardian soon, I promise. I know I stepped out for that whole part of the conversation, but I will be seeing it soon so I can catch up on that. And, you know, we were talking about the books, you know, books that may be canceled, books that we're looking for. And I've said this before, but if you get a book or you like a book, talk about it. You know, get it to your shop. Say, I want this on my pull list. Pre-order this, you know, way early, so it's before FOC, so that Marvel knows and your shop knows that this is a book that people want. Right? That's the best way to kind of sort of get it above that 20,000, or let them know that, you know, maybe we should keep printing this book. Pre-order it, you know, pull list, that type of stuff. So if there's a book you like, do what you can early, be proactive on your end to keep it on the shelves. That's what I want to say there. We were talking about the hot books, you know, things like that. I always say it, just collect what you love, collect what you like reading. Really can't go wrong with that at all. So that's it, guys. This is episode number 40. See you next week. Later.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.
Take it easy.